Clubhouse, what is it? And I have two awesome ladies to help me share what is Clubhouse with you. How do you get an invite to Clubhouse? And FOMO slash Clubhouse addicted or Clubhouse obsessed? Which is it, Angie? What are you?
I'm obsessed with Clubhouse.
So we're creating a few addicts. We know if you haven't heard about Clubhouse, we will be responsible for creating Clubhouse. We want you to know we're going to actually create a Clubhouse addiction center, and it will fill all of the addicts that we create. So I'm Coach Deb. I'm representing First Minute Media and Groove Digital. Today, we are actually broadcasting to about 8 different places. So if you're coming from Groove, aloha. If you're coming from one of my Coach Deb channels, aloha. More of the jazz hands in here. We've got like real tight center here, so my jazz hands have to be in here. And I'm joined by 2 of my favorite people in the world. They are not just gorgeous, they are super smart and super ambitious and are constantly thinking of ideas to 7-figure up your business, your video, your funnels, your e-commerce. So we have Angie Norris. Round of applause here. And we have Alicia Lyttle. Angie Norris, I met just a few months back. And actually, Angie, I think I met you first on YouTube when I was searching on Google or on YouTube for a groove tutorial. And I found your video and I was like, oh, this is great. I was thinking of doing something like this, but now I don't have to because you did. So I love the ambition and the thoughtfulness of you constantly helping your tribe, constantly helping the people that you do business with. You are a giver. Your heart is truly the servant leader's heart. And I love you for this. So that's why you're going to be the perfect person. And that's why you won yourself an invite to Clubhouse. Like people have been begging. I joined over the summer. I talked about it. I told my clients about it to lock up their name. When they opened up the app in October, I told them to download the app, but there weren't enough invites to go around. So it was really hard to talk about it without making everybody jealous and quite frankly, ticked off. So now Clubhouse is open and Clubhouse has become all the rage. So now we get to talk about it and teach it. And this is somewhat selfish for me also because I don't want to do another onboarding session again. So this is going to be a Clubhouse onboarding session. So if you've joined Clubhouse and you're lost, no one gave you an onboarding session, you can use this. If you have a friend or if you're inviting someone, feel free to send them this because we're going to share the quick down and dirty tips about Clubhouse. I met with Angie last week and I was like, all right, so I'm going to give you the onboarding session like I got. And I had a book that I was jotting notes of all the things that they shared with me and then some discoveries of things that I made on my own. And then halfway through, I was like, darn it, I wish I was recording this because A, this is good stuff. We're talking about some cool strategies here. And B, Clubhouse doesn't record anything. It's an audio-based only app. And it's great because they don't record anything, but it stings because they don't record anything. And Angie goes, oh, no, I'm recording this. And I'm like, of course you are. So we thought, let's just get together, talk about Clubhouse. Angie's going to talk about like the top, 50 things, 5 things about what she learned in Clubhouse in her first week. And then Alicia Lyttle, I want to give a brief introduction to her as well. So if you don't know who Alicia Lyttle is, you will now. She was, in fact, my first coach when I got into the internet marketing business back in 2001. Yeah, I don't know, time travel. We're not that old and we're still in our 20s, but yeah, we've been doing this for 20 years. She's taught me all of the systems to put into my business and absolutely helped me have time freedom because she taught me how to hire a VA, what systems to put in place, how to use things like Asana. Asana didn't exist at the time, but whatever it was then she taught, and then things have evolved. So Alicia, I owe you a ton, especially for the fact that all of the systems that are in my business are due to your teaching and your coaching. So I love you. I love that you're on here. You've actually been moderating some of the Clubhouse rooms. So talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to go round robin. And Angie, I definitely want to give you the platform right after Alicia to go, all right, here are the top 10 things that I learned when I joined Clubhouse to accelerate those of you watching your success in Clubhouse. Because here's the thing. It started with the Silicon Valley thought leaders. It has now, just in literally the past week, all the social media people are joining and all of the internet marketing people are joining. And Angie's got all of these tips about affiliate marketing. How do you convert using Clubhouse? How do you get those conversations and then to convert? So Alicia, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, moderating rooms. I know you're moderating for someone I love, Les Brown.
But before we do that, Deb, where's the Deb introduction? Can I introduce you?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. I love it.
I'd like to introduce you to Deb Cole, also known as Coach Deb, and I've known her for 20 years. The one thing that I'll say that is so relevant to how we're all here today and grooving is that Deb had the first website builder. Before there were funnel building softwares, Deb had that first website building, funnel building software. And the one thing that she did with that software, and she traveled all over the world, speaking on stages, selling it like crazy. She made a ton of money, like a ton of money. And one of the things that she did really well, I remember when she was, I think it was in Singapore that she did this, is that she showed demos of how the software worked. And when she was done with that demo, you had to have the software or two copies. Even if you didn't need 2 copies, you needed 2 copies of the software. So she just goes way back in this space. As an internet marketer, as a speaker, as a trainer, she's traveled the world teaching people how to really use technology and leverage tools to make their business grow, expand, and multiply. And she is like the woman when it comes to teaching people how to be live and use this webcam and your microphone to really build your brand and your business. And she was responsible for really a lot of the behind the scenes for the 14-day Groovathon. Okay, that's it.
Round of applause for Alicia. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you.
You an introduction too. Okay, so Clubhouse and moderating. I guess before we get into the what is Clubhouse and stuff, let me just say that, you know, you can have these amazing rooms on Clubhouse, and Les Brown was, he had a room and I was moderating that room, which just means that as he's speaking, people are raising their hand to speak. So I would let them in to speak and then quietly let them out of the room as well. So that as Les is answering questions and people are talking to him, you know, it's like one at a time talking to him, which is called the stage. So bringing people up on the stage. But when I had to go, because, you know, if you know Les Brown, you know that he likes to talk. When I had to go, I'm like Skyping Deb. I'm like, Deb, I need you. So Deb actually came in and finished moderating while I had to go do a webinar.
And it's interesting too, Alicia, because I was certainly not ready. I was literally making breakfast, and my breakfast is like at noon because you're doing the fast till noon thing. Oh, it's a lot of fun. So I'm making breakfast and I'm listening to Clubhouse. I'm in the room. It's kind of like your little break room or your water cooler or the radio back when people listened to the radio. I don't know if any one of you listen to the radio, but so I just had it and it was on the kitchen counter as I'm making breakfast. And then all of a sudden I go over and Alicia's like, hey, ask him a question, or hey, you want to moderate? I'm like, no, I'm in my PJs still. I'm eating breakfast. I'm literally hungry. And then I realized, well, Les Brown does say you got to be hungry. So I literally had to be hungry because I'm like, put the egg breakfast sandwich away and moderate. And I think, Angie, you've picked up this obsession too, and this addiction, because once you start, and like a lot of times people will open up Clubhouse on their phone from bed, right? Like most people go, oh, let's check Facebook. What's the news? What's going on? And you turn on Clubhouse and you get to listen while you check Facebook or while you check other things. And you just get sucked in because the conversations are amazing. The people that are talking are amazing. And the best part about it is when Alicia called me in, I still had my 4-eyed glasses on that I'm never going to get in front of a video like this. So if she had asked me to get on a video live, I'd have been like, sorry, can't do it. But because it was audio, I couldn't help but say yes. So when you do join Clubhouse, be prepared to jump on stage at any given moment, because that's when you've got the platform in front of thousands, and then soon it will be millions. And I know people will laugh at me when I say millions now, but people laughed at me when I said that with Twitter, right? I'm like, you'll be in front of millions. And I couldn't put that in the title of the book and Twitter because there weren't a million people on Twitter yet when I wrote the book. But mark my words, you will see millions on Clubhouse. So right now it's in front of hundreds and thousands. Eventually it will be millions. And if you get on there first, you grab what's called mind share, right? You become top of mind. You create the room. You become the person's daily habit. So that's why I get excited anytime a really exciting app like this gets started. And you'll notice there's been a lot of other social media platforms that have existed and started over the past 5-10 years since the last time I wrote a social media book. And I don't come and talk about it and get all excited. I am about this because of how cool it is with it being an audio-based app. And especially right now, there are no events. There are no events. Well, unless you're Alicia and you live in Atlanta, apparently you're having events over in your state. I'm in California. There are no events, right? Nothing. So people are drawn to Clubhouse because it's the conference, it's the place, it's the room. And we all want to be in the room where it happens, right? So that's what Clubhouse is. That's why people are experiencing FOMO, because Angie, when you left Clubhouse and you're like, what am I missing? So talk a little bit about what you learned in the first week, and then why do you think it's so addicting and why it will catch on?
It is insanely crazy. And I do not think this is just a hype. I really do think this is a lasting social media platform that is going to change the game, not just for me, but for anyone, both professionally, personally, and you're going to connect with more people this way. I've connected with so many people over the last few days that I never would have had that chance without this app. On Facebook, it's a different experience. It's very controlled. With this app, you can actually connect with anybody. I just connected with, it was Kevin Hart today. I was like, Kevin Hart, that is so cool. And I was searching for Adam Sandler. And, it was just really cool that there's people who are untouchable, but now they're reachable. And then in the online space, I was joining rooms and we'll go over like what the difference is between clubs and rooms and all that. But I was in a room with someone who I just admire, and I would have never had this chance to have a one-on-one talk back and forth on the stage to each other, like a panel discussion. But like you were talking about, Deb, that, this is your event. We are hungry. We are thirsty for interaction. We want that intimacy, we want that in-person social time where we are really connecting. And that's where the magic happens at live events. This year, none. And next year, who knows? Right. And so this is really filling a void for me and for many, many other people, because we are getting to know each other in a different way, because this is not a selling, like you're not on there to sell. I mean, you can in ways in drop hints, and I'll talk about that later, but it's really more of the human connection and your heart centered, right? Like your passion comes out, you're driven by the person versus your business. So I love it. I'm excited. I can't wait. And I'm obsessed.
And a couple questions came in that I noticed. One, what is onboarding? So we'll answer that real quick. And then the other question is, some of you are saying, I grabbed my username, I'm just waiting for an invite. So two things, and I think this is also why Clubhouse is going to be so popular and everyone's going to want to be there, not just with what we just talked about. It's the event, and it's the event where the world's hopping on and can all be in the same place, which is really powerful. It's the audio empathy. We can express things that don't come across quite as the same on Twitter, where it's just text. You have audio to your voice now. So there's empathy. You can hear where people are coming from. You can hear if people are joyful or in pain or whatever it is, right? But the other thing is, I feel they're just following the butterfly marketing. They probably grabbed Mike Filsame's book because it's so viral and catchy, where you have to invite a friend to join. So you can't just go on, and anything that you can't get, people want. People want what they can't have, right? So that's the first thing. It's exclusive. And the nice thing about it being exclusive is you wind up inviting people just like yourself. So it becomes even better and better and better. Now you're supposed to, when you invite someone, you're supposed to what's called onboard, as in train them. You give them an orientation. So it's a 15-minute, sometimes 30-minute talk about what are the things to do. There's certain mores, there's rules, there's etiquette, and we'll talk about that as Angie talks about the top 10 things that she learned, or the top 50. How many hours do you have for us to teach you? But we're going to try to give you the quick down and dirty, and then we're also going to turn this here, and maybe we'll clap, because then we'll know when the audio transcript to start. But we're actually going to have this training session here for you. We're going to turn it into an ebook, so that way as things change and grow, we'll keep adding to that ebook. And that way you'll get, number one, you'll get the ebook to quickly get on Clubhouse and succeed and not do anything really bad or commit a faux pas, because that has happened. And we'll talk about the party icon that Angie got, and we'll see if you made any faux pas or if you're forgiven. But when you first join in, it's that first week, people know that you're a newbie. And you do get forgiven, but you want to do the right things quickly, right? You guys are fast action takers. That's why you're here. So we'll talk about how to create your profile, because some people are creating the profile and they're doing it on the app, and it's a no-no because it comes across all jumbled. So Angie's going to show you, I think you're going to show us your profile, or at least we're going to make sure you get it in the comments. So that way, again, you wind up standing out and shining over all the other people that are joining in Clubhouse. So again, you only get one invite when you first join, when you're new. So that's the other reason why everyone's like, oh, I want an invite, and it's sparingly. So anytime anyone's asked me for an invite, I'm like, are you a giver? Are you going to contribute? Are you going to participate? Because if you're just going to get an invite and not participate, it's a waste. We want people who are going to give, people who are going to contribute, people who are going to really add value to the conversation, to the Clubhouse. And that's what makes the Clubhouse great. So if you are asking for an invite, feel free to do that in the comments. We may happen to, number one, we might have some, but not just us, people in the room are new and they may have an invite, then they can invite you as well. So let's try to make this a nice little groove member atmosphere, and share the love and share the invites. But yeah, let's get you started so that way when you do get that invite, you'll be doing the right thing. So Angie, what are the top 10 things that you learned when you first joined Clubhouse?
So the top 10 things that I learned when I joined Clubhouse, there were a lot. I mean, I've learned so many that I think in this ebook, I'll add another page that talks about the 50 things, because I have learned so much in such a short period of time, and it's not complicated. It's not at all. It's a very simple app. And I love that there's simplicity. But here's what I've learned. The three main things that kind of pop out right now are, when you go into Clubhouse, you got to really think about, what do you want to be known for? Because your tonality comes out, who you are comes out. You're going to be telling stories about yourself and expressing who you are. You're going to be sharing things that you probably didn't think that you would be sharing with other people. But what do you want to be known for? So think about that before you start your profile and start to connect. And two, how do you find your voice on Clubhouse? That's going to be something that you're going to have to navigate. But, people like us will help you and guide you, but you're going to have to find your voice, because people are going to start to attract to you. They're going to be attracting to whatever you're saying, and whatever you're saying will become consistent. And if you're saying something negative, they're going to view you as a negative person, and they may not, be drawn to you. And maybe they are drawn to you because they have the same view. So who knows? But and then number three, you definitely want to optimize your profile. From day one, I didn't really know how to do that. I just kind of whipped up something. And I just actually realized from listening to people that, one, you want to make sure your picture is optimized, meaning that you want to have you pretty clear what you look like. People are going to need that, because it's the only way that they're going to see you through this app is your profile picture. Now, you can change your profile picture often, and I'll talk about that too. But initially, when you start out, try to have a really good profile picture, and what you are, have the background be an opposite color so you really stand out and you pop. So when you're scrolling down, you really see that person. The next thing is use emojis, because like all the ones that had an emoji as the first character, I was drawn to more than the ones that didn't have one, because the profile, when you scroll, only shows about this much, and you have to click it to get bigger. And you want to make sure that people actually go, oh, I like this. And so your first few words are going to be very powerful. So make sure you choose those that are people who see your profile. What kind of attraction do you want them to have towards you, right? And the other thing is, you can put links in your profile. It's the only place you'll be ever able to put links is in the profile. So make sure that, you have something, a call to action, get to know who you are by contacting you, follow you on Twitter, whatever it may be, because I'm telling you, after the last few days, it is more powerful to have a way for people to connect beyond this. And what I love about Clubhouse is that they're not trying to be all things to everyone. They're not trying to be a Facebook that has every type of way to communicate. They are simplicity, and they are keeping it that way. And I love it. They're going to add some cool stuff, but I think what they're doing is great. You have all these social profiles to connect. They don't need to do that. They're going to help you interact, get to know each other in a place that's really cool. Okay. So make sure that, okay. Number 4 is etiquette. Etiquette is going to be very, very important. Now, when you first come onto the scene, you're going to get a party hat icon that's on your profile for 10 days. And it's really cool because you're not sure, like, but you can see who has a party hat, right? And you're kind of drawn to them because you're like, oh, they have a party hat too. But it gives you a little bit of grace when you come in because you're learning, and there is going to be some etiquette that you're going to have to learn if you want to win with Clubhouse, even just as a person and relating, because you want to make sure that you don't turn anyone off, but at the same time, you want to abide by the rules. I'm a rule follower, so I really think just making sure that you have the right etiquette. So there's a lot of things underneath that category, but we'll go over those, in a future training or somehow, but we'll make sure that you know how to properly navigate this thing in a way that people are like, I like this person, they follow the rules. And then, there's little things. There's a guide. It's called clubhouseguide.com. And that's just the main page. They don't have a logo. It's fancy. It is the nuts and bolts of, hey, this is what we have so far. There are 2 things. There are rooms, and rooms are just any conversation. You can start a room. Anyone can start a room. You can start millions of rooms, and it doesn't matter. But it's really cool because there are lots of conversations going on. And then there are clubs, and clubs you have to qualify for, and you can't do it right away. And it's really cool. I want a club. I want it in the Clubhouse for a long time. I want a club. And so there are ways to do that. And then the next thing, as Deb was saying, is you only get one invite when you come into this world, and it is gold. It is gold. But you want to make sure, one, who you let into the Clubhouse and who you invite, your name and your picture is tagged to that person forever, meaning that Deb Cole let me in. And if I get crazy, she is going to be the one that they're going to see on my profile and go, oh, Deb Cole, she must be as crazy as Angie. I'm kicking them both out of my club. Or I'm banning them all, right? I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think Clubhouse is going to be a cool place, because the like you said, it's gold. That invite is gold, and you want to make sure you're giving it to someone who is like you, who represents you, because literally on Angie's profile, it's going to say brought in, or whatever the term is, by Coach Deb. So I feel it's kind of like LinkedIn. If you remember when LinkedIn first started, I only accepted a friend that I actually knew, because it was like endorsing them. It was saying you are linked to them and you endorse them. You're connected to them, and people will judge you based on your friend circle, based on your network. So they are a reflection of you. So when you do send out those invites, like I have a criteria. Are you a giver? Are you kind? Right? Are you going to contribute? And the biggest thing is participate. And when I had someone, like I had an invite and they're like, no, I'm not really going to participate. I just want to check it out. I'm like, you don't get an invite, right? Angie gets it. So so that's the big thing too, is I do have a qualifier, right? When people, so I recommend you do the same thing to send out those invites. And I do think we're going to see this invites open up. Like I think people are going to start getting more than one. And the more this is what I've seen, because I do have more than one. Because now everyone's going to act. But I think it's because I've been on since the summer, and I've been contributing, and I've been on, and I don't know if it tracks your contributions or when you're involved or what, or who you're associated with, but I think then it starts expanding. So I do believe we'll start having more than one invite, but in the beginning, especially in your first 30 days, you have one. I think it was at least 2 months until I got like another one. So it is going to be gold. I feel they have mastered, from a marketing perspective, the art of FOMO. Like people, want to be there and they can't, so it's exclusive. And then the second thing is, once you do get in a room, it's so hard to leave. People are now, and Jeremiah Aoyang is the one who invited me, and he said this during my onboarding session, and I listened to his advice. This is my second set of the AirPods. I had the original one, and I was like, they're fine. No, you'll run out of battery. And this is the best way to participate in Clubhouse, is using the AirPods. So I got a second pair. So this is my second set, because when the first set dies, I'm prepared. And then the other one is charging. That might be your best tip ever. Alicia, do you have 2 AirPods, and are you doing a similar type of thing? How long are you on Clubhouse when you join?
I was up till 3 a.m. one morning on Clubhouse, and then Angie had her 7 a.m. session. I had to set my alarm for it. I'm like, oh my gosh. But hey, my tip is I just put my AirPod in one ear. So I let the other ear charge, and then I just do the ear swap, and instead of both AirPods in the ear.
Yeah.
But hey, got to do something. But yeah, I'm on Clubhouse a lot. I picked up so many good tips, met so many people. Just
so,
like
so this is the place
saying,
where, number one, if you're an affiliate of a product or anything like Groove, because many of you are coming in from Groove, like that's one of the things that Angie's in there. But she's not just talking about Groove per se. She had a goal setting session I think it was Monday. Yeah, right. Yesterday, like at 5 a.m., something like that. I'm on Pacific, so I don't know when she was on. But she was talking about like just inspiring people. So you don't necessarily have to go in there and go right to business, but you do something. Again, Angie is an inspiring person. So you do something that fits your vibe, your personality, and then you create a room or create a club around that people are coming to on a weekly basis. You become their habit, your radio show, right? So it doesn't always have to be some type of product that you're promoting, but it could lead to that. The other thing that's really cool is as people start following you and ask for notifications, now when you go live per se, like, or start a room, that's basically how you go live. To give you guys an example, if you're not in there, you go live in Clubhouse by starting a room. And then it just gets announced to anyone that's following you, especially if you started a club. So that's something that if you are in right now, start rooms. Go ahead, play around with it, right? Especially if you're new. The first week, you've got that little party icon, and whatever you do, you get forgiven, right? You get okay, it's okay, you're good. And people will teach you and coach you. The other thing is they'll pull you on stage. Like, oh, looks like Angie's a newbie. Let's pull her on stage. What do you have to say? What do you think about Clubhouse? And then they'll give you tips and they'll share things. So it's a really cool community in that regard. Alicia, you had put a PowerPoint or a slide together to show us. How about we give them some visuals?
All right.
I'm seeing a lot of people like, I want an invite. I don't know what it's about.
Yeah. While you're pulling that up, I'll just keep telling you some more tips because I have a lot. Yes. And so there's also an algorithm, and the algorithm is going to help you do a lot of things. Number one, you're going to get more invites, as Deb said. So the more you host consistently, the more you're active, the more you're contributing, they're going to give you more invites. I'm still waiting on my next invite, but I can't wait. I keep checking. I think I'm more obsessed with trying to see if I have a new invite than I am anything else. The second thing is you can qualify for your own club, but you can't just apply for a club and get a club. And what a club is, it's like a special group. It has your kind of name as the brand. You get this like house logo that means you're official and that it is a core pillar of Clubhouse, and people can find your club and they can be accepted by you or rejected by you. And future roadmaps is going to have a lot of cool monetization features as well. So you have paid groups. And the other thing is, if you want a club, it takes 3 weeks. Currently right now, they're going to change it. They're going to shift it as they go on, as more people come on board. But for you to get a club right now to qualify for 3 weeks, you have to consistently, and consistently means each week, at least at a minimum, have almost the same name. Make sure you have the keywords in the name for all the different rooms you have so that you can qualify for a club. And there's a form on communityguide.com. That's their website. And that's where you qualify for a form. Now, what if you know an influencer and you're getting ready to do an interview and you really, really, really want them on, but you can't because you don't have an invite and you don't know how to get them on quickly? There is a form that you can fill out with that person to get them to the head of the line based on their follower base, based on who they are. And I know some people get special privileges because I think like Russell Brunson, I know a lot of people that were like, he gave me an invite. So I think he got special privileges because he has a large network, right? Okay. Then the final thing, and then I'm going to pass it back to Alicia, is that as your algorithm changes, it's based on who you follow. So be careful who you follow. You may not want to follow every single person. You want to check them out, because if you're following someone that has the opposite view, you're going to see rooms based on that person. So you want to start to really do something to make sure that your strategy of your followers represents all the content that you want to see. So I look at it like this. When you're at Funnel Hacking Live or GrooveCon or Traffic and Conversion Secrets or some big event, we get to see each other. There's a stage with the speakers. That's awesome. Then you have breakout sessions, and then you have hallway sessions, and then you have coffee sessions. This is all that same concept, but here. So you want to make sure that who are you going to have those hallway conversations with? That's the people that you want to follow. And that's going to change who you see. So when you come on board, you're going to see people, they're going to suggest people. That may not be what you're going to see in a week from now or a month from now. So think about Facebook. Facebook, when you came into Facebook, if you came in a while ago, it was all college kids, right? All college kids. We couldn't even get on if you're older. And then shifted, right? Based on the user base, it shifted. Now the average age is 55 years old. So that's the way this is going to take shape as we all entrepreneurs get on there. And I know right now we're trying to get a whole mass movement of GrooveFunnels people, because that's our tribe. We love them. And we want to communicate
Get the
with
G
you
in there.
And if you want to have conversations with any of us, if you're on there, you can ping us. We can jump in a room. I mean, it is exciting. So anyway, I'm excited, as you can tell. So I'll ramble on about it, but I'm going to pass it back to Alicia.
Amazing tips. Amazing tips. Deb, can you push that screen share?
It's the round of applause. Oh, screen share. Oh, yeah. Sure. Here we go. And let's see if this is the best one or this one. Which one do we want?
No, wait. Can you see the screen share? Is it in there?
No. Oh, here we go. Oh, well, sorry. Yep. Now I can. And we're both clicking it. There you go.
This is actually Angie's profile. So Angie, tell us about your profile and what are some of the important things that you have in here?
So what I did on my profile is I went out and spied on a lot of other people's profiles. Now, I will admit it's not perfect. I did it quickly because I really just wanted to put something together to kind of tell people who I am, right? A lot of people are going to come in here and they're going to have lots of follower options. I want them to go, oh, who is this person? Do I want to be known that I have my own company? Do I want to be known that I actually speak on stage? Do I want to be known that I love funnels? Yes, that's what I want to be known for. So I put that first because I feel like that's going to draw people in that resonate with the funnel world, with the advanced online marketing world. And then I wanted people to know I just have a passion for people. So I wanted to put that in there. I didn't do a super long bio. A lot of people can. I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm still investigating to see. And then I wanted to give some kind of a way to connect with me. Now, I have something, and I can show you it if you want, but it is a page that has a bunch of links and videos on it. So I have a lot of links. I have a lot of programs. I have a lot of passion points, and I wanted to have one place. So, hey, go to grooveangie.com and you can see there's a video of me talking about my favorite thing, which is a groove. And then it has some links to all of my things that I'm kind of promoting or things to get connected with me. I have some free gifts on there, right? So have something. It could be your Instagram. It could be, hey, go and find me on Facebook. It could be an ebook, whatever you want. I have been creeping into some of these big player rooms that are talking about making lots and lots of money. One girl, she even said, I think, Alicia, you can speak to this. I think, how much did she make?
Yeah, she said she was selling a $9 ebook and she sold 800 of them in one day on Clubhouse just by dropping some knowledge. And people were looking in her profile and she had it, all her information there on how to buy it. I'm going to show an example of somebody else who's done it and done really well. But.
Yeah. And like today, I was in some various groups listening and sometimes even speaking. And I moderated like 3 groups today. Yes, I'm obsessed. I've been on way too much, but I love it. And I'm honored when people are like, hey, you want to speak? I'm like, sure. But I had a couple people who are pretty good at marketing. Like there was Julie Stoyan, if you guys know who she is, and her business partner, Kathy Olson. And they had this tactic, and it was it wasn't like they were selling at all, but they were able to get hey, I'm Kathy Olson of FG Funnels, or I am Angie Norris of Groove Funnels. Like, you're saying it so that you're kind of leading them down. So if you have a business, like I have Funnel Training Channel, hey, I'm Angie Norris of Funnel. They kept dropping that stuff. And every now and then you'd hear the .com at the end. So they were like still dropping stuff throughout. And then I was on one with the same two people, and there were hundreds of people on this one a couple days ago. And at the very end, they dropped a checklist. They're like, hey, there's a checklist. It's free. Just go out to this. And what we found out was the checklist was awesome. But then when you clicked it, it actually, even though they didn't capture your email, somehow they were capturing data around you, and they were able to target you. And so they had it kind of set up that way, and it was really clever, and it was good. And I asked Kathy today, I said, how many downloads did you get? And she said, just from that 1 hour call, it was like 90 signups just in that moment. And I think that's crazy, right?
Right.
It's awesome. The potential is great. I mean, have you been seeing that, you guys?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And what I love, Angie, is that you're talking about Clubhouse conversions. And those of you who are just joining, we are live. I'm Coach Deb. We have Angie Norris right there below me, as long as everything is in the same order. And then Alicia Lyttle here. And we're talking about Clubhouse. And Clubhouse is, to just put it very succinctly, it's an audio-based only social media app. So if you think about Twitter is a social media app where it's text only, this is an audio only app. And when it was described to me when I first joined, it was like, hey, there's no events going on. This is the event this summer. Everyone is on Clubhouse on Saturday night. That's where everyone was joining. There were stages, and you would like go into a room as though you open the door, you peek in, and you're like, okay, I see so-and-so. That's the person's on stage. Yeah, I'm going to sit for a while and listen. And then if you had something to contribute, you basically raise your hand by clicking the little hand emoji at the bottom. And then if a person on stage says, yeah, you seem like a worthy contributor. And by the way, they're going to go check out your profile to see if you would be a safe contributor to their topic. They bring you on stage and you get to speak. And then you put yourself back on mute. Sometimes you get dropped back into the audience, or sometimes when you're contributing things of value, you stay on stage, you stay on the platform. And then there's a little button at the bottom that says leave quietly, and you can just exit and go check out another room. Twan earlier was saying he's been Clubhouse hopping all day. Like, you can go in a room and then leave, and go in a room and leave. In the early stages, I went in one. It had a really groovy name to it. They were talking about jazz and all sorts of other things. And I thought, oh, that was an interesting topic. But the 3 or 4 people in the room started really having like this very interesting conversation. And I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm eavesdropping. This sounds like a personal conversation, but they made it a public room. I'm like, do I leave? Is that weird? I mean, they see me, right? So then all of a sudden, like, someone calls upon you. So if you do see people kind of stalk your room, and feel free to welcome them, invite them on stage if you want, if you're a small group. But you do not have to, right? You could just use it like a radio show. Les Brown, when I popped in there and Alicia was moderating for him, I'm like, this is like an old-fashioned radio show. He's like, next caller. Well, thanks for calling in. And I'm like, nobody called. It's an app, but this is great, right? It's the same type of atmosphere. The other thing we're going to start seeing is podcasters. People are going to start using this as their podcast channel. Now, one thing to note is in Clubhouse, it is not ever recorded. There is no record button. There's no option. So people get like, oh, we don't like Angie and I were like, it just goes away, kind of like stories, right? It's 24 hours. But the good thing about it is it goes away. So it's like that Snapchat stories feature where this is live and in the moment. And what that does is it creates FOMO. You have to be in the room when it's happening. And then people see who's in the room for those conversations. Now, if you go and you record it and you broadcast it somewhere, this is considered a huge faux pas, could get you kicked out. You should not record unless you tell people this is recorded. And if you do something like that, if your room is recorded, you may want to put that like hashtag recording or record on or live or something like that to let people know, and then constantly tell people as they join in so that they don't start sharing something that they don't want leaving that room. So think of it as a very intimate conference room, like a mastermind where all people are all gathering and chatting, but no one has the record button on, or they shouldn't, right? So if you do decide, hey, I do want to record this and then transcribe it, turn it into a blog, turn it into a video, whatever, an ebook, feel free to do that, only with warning your audience. Have you seen anybody record things?
Actually,
Alicia?
I want to pull up someone's comment because first of all, before I pull up the comment that he's talking about, so this person right here, Michael Sanchez, I have learned a lot from him in Clubhouse, and I have been stalking his profile. And what was really cool, another tip, is that if you're looking for clubs, what I have found the easiest way for me to find clubs is to go to really big people who are already on and really optimizing the platform. And at the very bottom of the profile, it has all the clubs they're in. And I go check those out. And even Michael, he actually invited me to one today. So thank you so much for that. And I have never had a one-on-one conversation with this person. I'm sure we will. But I just think he's really optimized it. And just as he's saying here, just released a website for Clubhouse yesterday. So he is creating something to help users just like you. And he got 13,000 downloads. You know what that means? That means that this is hot and not going away. This is something that is going to be a game changer. I believe it at first, like Deb, you were saying the whole recording thing. I'm like, well, why am I going to waste all of my time talking about expertise that's not going to get recorded and published out? But at the same time, there is a comfort with knowing it's not being recorded. And I'm embracing it. I'm loving it because you're having true conversations versus you're trying to people say things knowing they're recorded in a different way than they do when they are not. Is that right? Am I right?
Yeah, 100%. And we see this all the time in video, Alicia.
Right. We do.
Yes.
I also want to pull up Michael Sanchez. It's funny because when I saw him pop in What's Up Clubhouse, I'm like, you're in Clubhouse, you could teach a course on it. What he said, and again, he shared a tip. So again, he's a contributor, right? There's a new mod alert for people who are recording. A badge appears on your profile. So that's cool to hear. Oh, and Terrell, let me just pull up. Sorry. This comments are starting to come in and scroll fast. FOMO, what does this mean? Alicia?
FOMO. Yeah, FOMO means fear of missing out. And it's when, here's my FOMO. I'm in a Clubhouse room and I've got a webinar to do and I'm like pushing it till there's 2 minutes left because I'm going to miss part of I'm going to miss the conversation that's happening on Clubhouse to do something else. Anyway, it's fear of missing out. And there's immense FOMO with Clubhouse. And so I had to go do a webinar. So I'm telling my sister, Lorette, you start the webinar and I'm bringing Deb on to moderate a Clubhouse room. And I just don't want to get off. And my sister's like, you're 10 minutes late for your own webinar. Get off the Clubhouse. She comes on the Clubhouse, saw me on there. She set her notifications to know when I'm on there so that she can find me. So I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. But
FOMO. It's powerful and it's a powerful marketing tool. And that's why we're seeing such popularity. And the fact that it's a closed app, right? Like the app literally just got out of beta in October. So they weren't even on the Apple Store to download on your phone. And it still is only for iPhone users as far as we know. I heard there were rumors that they were opening it up for Android, I'm told in the springtime. So hopefully that is the case. But yeah. And I see you just pulled up my profile.
No, I did just pull up your profile. Before we move on to Deb's profile, so to find Angie, once you're on Clubhouse, write this down if you're not on yet so you can find her. It's just Angie Norris. Easy. She's easy to find. And I'm going to show you how to search so you can find her later. But now let's go to Deb's emoji profile.
And I've updated since, and I realize I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I've got to update another version because it took out some of the spaces when I updated stuff. So this is a good example to show. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I liked about Deb's profile was that as you read it, it does have a lot of emojis in it, which kind of breaks things apart for her bio. And then she has a lot of the things that she does and even where she is, like her location. So the interesting thing about when I saw Deb put her location I went and I searched for Hawaii and it pulled her up because the search feature, which I'll show you in a minute, will pull up based on the keywords that you put in your bio. But what do you love about your bio here, Deb? What are some of the most important things you put in there?
Yeah, so some tips to share with you. I'm glad you pulled this up. This is fun. Didn't know. I love how Alicia is like, I'm creating a PowerPoint. I'm like, of course she is. She's the organization queen. I love this because it's showing you two different things right now. On the right is the profile that I created in my notes app. So that's one of the things that when Jeremiah Alyang onboarded me, it was a best tip he gave me for visibility. He said, create your profile in notes so that you could put spaces in between, because if you do it on the app itself, it's just, you can't add emojis. It's all like, oh, if you see an example, I added a few things while I was in a room. And I think it was something about Peloton. So I wanted to make sure I put something about Peloton in there. So when I did it, I was just editing on the profile itself. And you see on the left, that's squishy, right? It's all squished together. There are no spaces. That's what your app, or that's what your profile will look like if you do it in the Clubhouse app. If you do it in notes and then copy paste it into the app, on the right-hand side, that is a copy paste. So if you notice, much cleaner, much easier to read, a little more organized. And then you'll notice I have things in here, a few things. One, people started asking what type of coach am I, because my update or my profile you saw on Twitter there at the bottom, they're like, oh, you're a coach. So what kind of coach? And they see the username. So right underneath Deborah Cole, which is the legal name, is Coach Deb, which is the Twitter handle. So Twitter is the app that people connect to, follow one another, and then continue the conversation either during the room, during the conference or the event, and they're tweeting one another, or afterwards. So at the bottom, since I added my Twitter handle, it has Coach Deb at the bottom. You can now also add Instagram. So at the right, it will say Instagram and then the app. And then what else? Oh, so I was told to put the legal name. That was the standard of what people do, but everyone knows me as Coach Deb. It's kind of my thing. So I did that to just be part of, again, I was an early adopter with Clubhouse. So I just followed the mores of it because I didn't want to stand out too much, because I already found out I stood out because I was a #petrohead, which meant I still was driving a gas powered car. So I already felt like an outcast. So I left my name in there. I have not liked that because it feels weird. So I'm going to change that to the name being Coach Deb. Hopefully I'll be able to do that and it's not a faux pas. But if you have a handle that you're known for, something like that, feel free to do the same. It wasn't like that in the beginning. It was only a very professional app, kind of like LinkedIn. So I adapted and I kept it as a professional name. Alicia mentioned the places. So that is cool and very exciting. So again, it reminds me of like all of the dating apps that if you want to meet someone that's, say, from New York, you put that in your profile. If you want to meet an optimist, you put that in your profile. I was single for the longest time, so maybe that is where I got some practice here. On the right, so that was the other thing, is a lot of people, when I was in there were a lot of grumbling rooms. And I'm like, I want to be in the happy room. Where's the happy Clubhouse room? So I put optimist, I put author. So I want to connect with other authors. I also put that I was a host. Now, before it was a TV show, now it's the YouTube show, but I wanted to attract really good guests. So when people saw that profile, they could then connect with me and get on my show. I put the name, the places, mainly just to give the history of where I'm from, but I like knowing that the algorithm is working, Alicia.
It does. It works. It totally works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then I have my profile. And actually with a new update, and I think Michael was talking about this, I just updated mine, and now the spacing and the emojis look so much better, Deb. So you could even, go back into the app and do it. So,
so you were able to space now?
I was able to space now. Yeah.
Cool. See, they were in beta. Oh,
I know you've been on it so long. When you said you were on in the summer, I was like, I joined in October. I thought I was early, but you're always before us.
It's my job to research them for you guys.
Anyway, I'm so in the make money niche. I'm like digital agency owner, making money with Airbnb, making money selling courses, making money affiliate marketer. Talk about Groove in there, and then I'm Jamaican and Guyanese, so I put it in there. I have my Twitter and my Instagram, and I've actually been getting a lot of inbox messages on Instagram for coaching. So although one of the things I liked about Angie's is that she has like direct call to actions. Let's connect here. And I need to get better at that. And I'm going to show you guys a really good example of that. But first, let me just talk about how you get into Clubhouse. Deb talked about the invitation, but this backdoor strategy, I've been letting people in this way. Deb and Angie, have you been letting people in this way? It's where, you see one of your friends connect, and then in your notifications, it says, this is actually Anissa Holmes. and I let her in just right before this. So it's like, you see that they're connecting. They're on the waiting list, so you can let them in. Have you seen that? Have you guys?
No, I think this looks new to me.
Okay. So here's what's happening. I have received one invite on day one, and I gave it away within 10 minutes to someone that had been telling me that they wanted an invite. So then I thought I would get another one, and I still haven't to this day received another invite. So sorry, guys. But here's what I've been able to see happen. And you have no control over this, but I think this is what's happening. When you sign up for Clubhouse, the cell phone numbers in your phone get connected. So if one of them sign up after you signed up, and then you'll get that notification that says, hey, so-and-so's on the waiting list, and you can let them in or ignore. And I've had about 7 or 8 of those, but it seems like there's no rhyme or reason, because with those, I know they were my cell phone, they signed up after. But then I had like 20 people that kept saying, hey, let me in, and they didn't. So you can try this out, is before you sign up, and maybe find someone that hasn't signed up yet either, make sure your cell phone numbers are on each other's phones, and then do it that way. Because I've tried to add them after the fact, and it doesn't work. It was only at the time I signed up, the cell phone numbers in my phone. So I don't know. That's what I think. That's my theory. So we'll see.
Okay. Sounds
good. That's
a
good tip, though, Alicia. That's awesome. So that means any of you watching right now, sign up on the app. Go to the Apple Store, sign up, lock in your username, and then connect with someone that you know is on it, that you are in their contact. So that might be my backdoor strategy of getting more people in.
And then I just let somebody else in just now. As I was looking, I wanted to see who else was there, but it's in your activity section. And, that's, I've been letting in a lot of people too that way, a few every day. So, okay. So that is the backdoor strategy. So I'm telling everybody, Joanne's like, do you have my phone number? What about you, Angie? Do you have my phone number? Joanne, send me your number in Facebook. All right. So what to think about while you wait? Well, before you join, or as you guys are joining now, think about your username, because you can only change it once. I was helping someone change their username. It's like, are you sure? You have one change. And same with your full name. So pay attention to what you use. Angie and I used our names, Alicia Lyttle, Angie Norris, where Deb used what she's known for, which is Coach Deb. So if someone's going to search for Deb, they're going to search for Coach Deb. They're not going to search for Deb Cole, because if they know her as Coach Deb. So those are the, my tips right there. Look at how we did it between the three of us. And then when writing your bio, the first 3 lines are the most important, because it's what people see first. And Deb was talking about this. So you can also put a call to action in those first 3 lines. So look at Leon here. Leon's like, text me. Here's my website. Here's my handle. So he's putting everything he can. He's packing it into those 3 lines. And then a great photo that represents you. And the photos you can change often. Because if you look at Angie's photo, that was this morning, and now she has a different profile photo. And Deb's, you've changed yours this week as well. And I did too. So you can change your profile photo, but use something that represents you and is nice and bright, because it is pretty small.
And one thing I want to say about that, this is a good time to talk about what's on my onboarding list is PTR. So these are some of the lingo terms that you'll hear often in Clubhouse, and you'll be like, what is this PTR? They'll be like, oh, PTR, pull to refresh.
Right.
And that is because, so one of the ways people do it in solidarity is all of a sudden, Michael Yo, I don't know if people know him as a comedian. He's in my phone. I got alerted when he joined. I was like, oh, I should have joined. I should have invited him. But I got alerted that he was on there. Go ahead and join his room to welcome him. So I joined in, and then there were like 9 of us in the room before he even got in. And we're like, let's all change our profile to Michael Yo's picture. So that's what we did. So he comes in and is like, what is this? Someone got a picture from him back like 20 years prior. It just made him laugh. It made him happy. Other times when you're drinking coffee or you're in a coffee house, Clubhouse, you change it to a coffee cup, and it's just reflective of what you're doing. So there's a lot of different things like this. Again, it's kind of being in the know, being the cool person that knows the rules. Angie, you were saying a couple other things that you've seen in your first week. You've seen a couple other profile pictures change.
Yes. So I've had one time I was in a group and they all changed their picture to me to show how to do it. And it was kind of creepy at the first, but then I was like, that's kind of cool. That's so awesome. But yeah, one thing is to change the mood. But as a moderator, which you'll understand what moderator is versus a speaker versus an audience member, those are the three different categories of what you become in the rooms. You'll understand that as a moderator, you are in charge of setting the tone of the room. You're in charge of making sure that conversation is staying on topic. And one of the things you can do is you can encourage people to change their profile to a picture that is relatable. But here's the cool part, and people are probably asking this question, is what I love most is I don't have to stay in the app to listen. I could be on the move. I can be on Facebook. I could be doing emails. I take phone calls and I was still on the app. It pauses the audio while you're on the phone call. But it was so cool because that, to me, they were smart to do that, because now I can be on it and not have to worry, right? Am I wrong?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I think that's what we all like the most, is that you're not tied to it. You're not trapped on it. It's just, again, it's like a radio show. It's like listening to Spotify, except that it's conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So here is my favorite bio. It's this guy, Mr. Banks, and he puts everything that anyone needs to know about him in his bio. And there's a million call to action. So I'm just going to break it down for you. Let's have some fun. So the first thing that he has is text, and it's this emoji or hashtag, in a word to get he's a credit repair guy. So it says, to get my 15 to 50 credit boost book, and then text it to this number. I blocked out part of the number so people wouldn't all be texting it at the same time, but it's for $10, right? You can do that. So I actually did it, and I got a link, and it went to his page, and there it is, the book for, it was a sales page, but it's a book for $10. And then, let's keep going. We're not done with Mr. Banks yet. And then he's got text, the pound sign or emoji for more information, all the stuff below. And it's like 6 other things that he's offering. It's like, if you want to learn how to boost your credit, if you want to learn a 6-figure business, start bookkeeping, business banking, funding, like all of this different stuff. So I tried it with the first one. I text the rocket ship. And of course, I got a text message from him. Here are the primary credit lines. And he was showing some stuff there. And then he starts outlining the different things that he does. So below it, it's like services. So he's breaking it up into a section, services, and talks about the different services that he offers. So it's like services, his course. And then he even says, why am I here on Clubhouse? And he's like networking, team building. He puts his location, that it's Atlanta, Georgia. And then he has and I'm in Atlanta. I was searching for people in Atlanta, found him. And then he has like, here's my business IG, my LinkedIn, my Facebook group, my podcast. And then he put his Cash App in there. I'm like, did he really just drop his Cash App? I don't know what we're Cash Apping him for, but hey, maybe if I wanted his attention to interview him or something, I'd send him some money in Cash App. And I know it's all right there. So if you haven't put your Cash App in your bio, hey,
you're missing out.
You're missing out. Some notes, the links are not clickable in your bio, but your Twitter and Instagram links are, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't put your website, like how Angie put hers in there, and she put it in by putting emojis on both of the sides or one side pointing to the website. A lot of people will connect with you by you just telling them to DM you on Instagram, or they'll tweet you or Instagram you. And you can still put your website in your bio. And then you can even use some text messaging campaigns. Like if you want a pizza, text message. I just showed you the Mr. Banks example, which is a good one. We talked about what it means already to moderate a room. This is just a screenshot with me and Deb moderating Les Brown's room. So
that was fun, by the way.
It was fun. So here are some things that we could cover. What do these things mean? So Deb, do you want to go over what some of these things mean?
Sure. So in the bottom, you're going to see, do we have a picture of maybe a club room? So there's a little hand And again, when you're moderating, that was fun because
I don't.
Yep. So that's, let's see.
No, I don't have it actually.
Okay. So this will be a visual, and again, it'll increase FOMO for those of you who are like, I gotta get in Clubhouse. But by the way, if you know any of us, go ahead and drop your cell phone in one of our DMs. So that might be a way we can get you in the back door. And I didn't want to say this before because it sounds like bragging, but I do have 23 invitations, but for givers only, value people. And I just found that out recently. I was like, whoa, all of a sudden I have 23 invites. So that's why I feel like the longer you're on it, the more you do things on it. Like Angie was saying, really contributing. I think this is a total theory. But I think you wind up getting more invites because that was not the case in the first several months that I was on it. So hopefully you'll get more. But yes, send us your cell phone so that way we might be able to get you through in the back door, and then we'll get to see all of you on Clubhouse. So you raise your hand. There's just this little hand emoji now, and that basically says you have a either question or you want to be pulled up on the stage to speak. So if you hit that button, get ready to talk because you may, maybe not, they may ignore you. And remember, they have an agenda, perhaps, right? If they're on stage and they have an agenda for their presentation, they're not just there to chat. So don't get insulted if you don't, get called on stage. But if you do, get ready to present and be succinct, right? I think that was one thing, Alicia, you and I were cracking up on the side. A woman in the room is just like, listen, okay, now it's time for you to talk, but don't tell us that you were special, that your grandmother told you were special, your whole life story. Like, just get to the point with your question. Because remember, like, people are listening to you. And I feel like the other thing about this app, with this audio app, you're very conscious of your voice. You're very conscious of your voice, of what you're saying, not just the audio part of it, but like, what message are you delivering? Are you sharing a story? Are you inspiring? Angie said right in the beginning when we were talking about what is Clubhouse and some of the tips, talking about finding your voice, finding that personality to shine. And now you don't have a visual. So people are only judging you on your voice. So if you go on and ramble, you might not be the organized person that they're going to want to hire as a coach to build their funnel, right? Because you don't have a point. So think about those types of things. So bring to stage, right? You get on the stage. The moderators are the ones up top that have the power to bring you on stage. And then the unmute, you'll see a little microphone again in the lower right-hand corner that you're automatically muted if you're in the audience. But once you get on stage, etiquette is to always hit that microphone to mute yourself. So you have that slash there. Otherwise, the moderator will mute you and then they have control of your mic. So unless you're going to talk, hit mute. Before I hit the clap, let's just talk a little bit about getting the moderator's attention. And someone did this in Les Brown's his room. He was wrapping up and he was leaving, and here was this guy just he's hitting it, right? So the way you get attention is you hit the mic and then you unhit it, and you hit it and you unhit it. So you're muting and unmuting. And even when you're in the audience and not on stage, people will see that the moderator sees. It's just a visual if you're paying attention. So I was like, hey, Les Brown, before you leave, I think there's someone that has one thing to say. And he did. It was powerful. So again, if you're going to be that anxious, be ready to stand and deliver and impress people. Don't just go, oh, boo, right? And then people are just not going to be impressed. So, we're teaching you how to create your profile, but you also want to be able to connect with people. That's how people are going to go to your profile and want to connect. If you don't contribute things of value, you're going to go, well, why isn't anyone following me? Well, because you're not contributing. Clap. That's a new one. Alicia, what's clap?
Angie, do you know how to clap? It's just, yeah, she knows.
I want to call out someone who's watching because this was hilarious this morning, because this person, Tuan, I'm so sorry, but he was moderating his first room and someone told him that when you clap, you unmute, mute, unmute if you're on the stage. And so he was doing it, but he was talking at the same time. So it was like, and it was, we were dying laughing. I about spit out my gum, but it was really cool because, right now, just know, guys, they have a roadmap and they're going to be adding features based on user feedback, and they're going to be doing pretty cool stuff. So what you see right now may shift a little bit. I love the simplicity of it, but some of the things, they might have a little more interactions in the future, and they have a they have a room every single week about what's happening. And you can always join those rooms to find out what's coming down the roadmap.
Alicia, someone has a question. I don't know if you know. So the backdoor strategy only works if you haven't downloaded the app. I think you have to download the app to just get the invite in general.
Yeah, you have to download the app. It's going to ask you to create your username, and then you're on the wait list, and then your friends get a notification. So I think the question is, so if Dara's already done this and now we add her as a contact in our phone, will it still connect and see that she's waiting and allow us to let her in? I don't really know the answer to that.
So I have some insight from Michael. He says if someone goes on the wait list, the more people they have on the app, the greater the chance their contact list will nominate them. Basically, more contacts on Clubhouse equals greater chance to nominate will occur. So I think, Deb, if you've seen a surge, guess what's been happening over the last week? People, your tribe is flocking to this app and they're coming on. So that's why you're getting more people because you're associated with them. So that's great. And Michael, I just want to answer your question. The reason why I don't have my IG, my Instagram profile or my Twitter one up there because I'm still 72 hours in here, less than that. And I didn't even realize those two were there until just when she showed my profile, for one. But two, a lot of the people, I came from corporate. I left a little over a year ago. So I'm still building my tribe and my Instagram's a little stale. So I'm going to work on it. I promise I'm going to add it and then I'm going to ping you. Okay.
You know, a funny story about Twan, and I heard you talk about that today in some room, one of the rooms we were in together. But I followed Twan, and then next to his profile, next to everybody's profile, there's this bell. And I clicked the bell so that I'd be notified every time Twan is on, which today was like 50 million times, by the way. So I'm constantly getting notified. Twan's in a room. Twan's speaking. Twan's in a room. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's great. It's great. It's fun.
See, that's a great person to invite because he's absolutely an active participant. Go Twan. And by the way, I want to give Twan a shout out. Those of you who are Groovesters, you may or may not have seen this post, but he went to the hair salon. I don't know if that's the appropriate name, but he carved a G, a groove G, like our G there. He's like, I'm not waiting for the G light. I'm carving a G in my head. So love you, Twan. You are definitely the guy to have in Clubhouse because you're one of these people who go all in, and I love
that. I love that. So some tips for good moderation. Maybe we can all give some tips. I'll start off with mine. I've seen some, really good moderators pull people into the room really well. So there are some rooms where the person who's leading the room is also the moderator. In the example of Les Brown's case, he was leading the room and answering the questions, but Deb and I were moderating. So now he doesn't have to think about, letting people in and who's raising their hand to let them in on the stage. So sometimes there's there's like Les Brown and then somebody helping him out and moderating for him. And sometimes the person who's running the room is doing everything themselves. But I've seen some rooms grow by the moderator saying, hey guys, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, press that plus button and I'll show that. I have an example and I'll show that, but press the plus button to let people in, or even giving an incentive to let people in. I heard someone say, when this room reaches 200 people, I'm going to give you all a link to go get my free checklist on blah, blah, blah. And people started inviting their people in. Angie, some tips that you have for good moderation?
And Angie, before you do that, or maybe it'll give you some time to collect your thoughts, Michael Sanchez, and actually I'm going to go this here. Love your tips, by the way. Keep sharing. Love it. Here's a backdoor strategy I've been doing. So go ahead and write this down and go and do it if you've been waiting for an invite. And Angie, Alicia, and I will help you get in. Here's a backdoor strategy. Collect the numbers and names of people already on Clubhouse. Add it to a Google's contact list. Share that contact list to a friend. They add the contact to their phone contacts, import from Google, then sign up. Boom, you get nominated, then simply delete the contact list that you imported with one click. Round of applause for Michael Sanchez. Yes, he's, by the way, I learned about him through the whole TikTok. He's like the TikTok king, if that's a term that we can dub for him. So thank you, Michael Sanchez. I feel like all of these awesome apps, you jump in, you dive in, and you learn all of the tips. So that is awesome. And then Angie, you're going to share a moderation tip for us.
Yes, because Michael's doing such a great job of helping us all out. He did post the link to his new downloadable PDF. So I want to go here and show this because, he's giving all this value. He's giving us all these tips, and I think they're amazing. And so I'm following him on this. I want to put that shout out there. But before I get into some of my own tips that I've learned over the last 72 hours of why I'm obsessed and why I love it, I want to show you this because of what Deb was talking about. And it just goes to show that we got some diehard group stars here, and Twan cut this into the back of his head at the barbershop. So isn't that amazing, girls?
I love it. I love it. I was laughing how Deb called a barbershop a hair salon, but
I was hoping someone would correct me in the comments.
I just let it pass.
Yeah, I feel like that was such art. Like that's a hair salon.
Okay, true.
No, but yes. Oh, this is great. And Michael, hit us up. We are writing a book together, the three of us. I feel like you're going to have to contribute some chapters. Many. So hit us up if you want to help us write the next book on Clubhouse. All right, Alicia.
Angie's turn.
Oh, go ahead.
Sure. So one of the things that I have realized is you have to set some guardrails. Now, the first 24 hours, and there should be like a major post that says, in the first 24 hours, you're going to be obsessed because you're going to be on it as much as you can because you're just so new. You're excited. You're seeing all these people. And like Kathy here, Kathy and I are, very close friends, and we've been in a lot of rooms together since she's come on board the last 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And she is connecting with these big influencers. She's in the room with them. It's like you being on a stage of a major event with the speaker asking them questions. I mean, that's exactly what this is. And it's been crazy because I even have had that experience when Alicia was moderating Les Brown. She even pinged me and said, hey, if you want to come on and ask a question, please do. And I said, I wish I could. I have been on this Clubhouse all day. I just got up and I have a meeting, but thank you. But I mean, the opportunity there is pretty remarkable. And you just have to know what groups you want to go in. So make sure and think about it like Deb was talking about, like you're at an event and there's all these rooms and there's all these topics. Don't be afraid to make a topic that is already in existence because the people in each room will be different. So if someone's talking about affiliate marketing and I love affiliate marketing and I'm in that room and then I go and there's another room that talks about affiliate marketing, that's okay. Have as many topics as you want that are relevant to you because the whole point of this in my mind is to get your voice heard about the topics and who you are as a person. And I love it because it reminds me of, I feel like we should all take a radio DJ course before getting in here and moderating because you have to understand the pauses. You have to understand the breaks. Twan and I were laughing this morning because there were some awkward pauses and we didn't know what to do. And, and it was just things like that we're going to have to come up with the rhythm. And I don't have that skill set. So I'm learning it. I'm practicing it. So I even put together a room I'm doing every day to get the practice in. I'm nervous when I'm doing this too, because I ran a group or I ran a call at like 6 a.m. and I had a major influencer jump on and I was instantly like petrified. Like, what if I say something wrong, right? And then I kept asking in my head to myself, imposter syndrome was setting in. It was like, what if they ask me something hard? What if I don't know the answer? And I started having these things, but don't worry about that. Like I said, nothing is recorded. Come into this, have your tone in your own personal. Like someone was asking the question today, she's having a hard time because she can't see people laugh. She's telling jokes, but she doesn't know if they are bad jokes, good jokes, but people are resonating. And so don't worry about that. Be yourself, be, authentic, and people are going to love you for you being exactly who you are. And that's what's going to draw people to follow you. And then maybe even have conversations with you outside of Clubhouse. And so there's a whole play, right? And I'm an affiliate marketer and I love it. I can see a whole vision here to be on here spreading the good news about whatever you want, but really lead with who you are. And I think that's what I'm going into. Like the room I started daily, it is only going to have maybe 5% talking about anything that I promote. 95% is all, hey, let's be the best that we can in 2021, mindset, fitness, which I need, entrepreneurship, all these different things, right, that come up to who we are. So my takeaway is, don't worry about being what other people want you to be. Be who you are, and people are going to flock to you and who like that kind of person, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I love that you shared that you're a little nervous. And Angie, you've been on the app how long?
Less than 72 hours.
And you still have your party emoji?
I do. I will have that for 7 more days.
So here is Angie. She's got the party emoji as in #newbie, and she's dominated and mastered it. Not only that, like, talk about an action taker. You're doing every day? Did you say every day?
Yes, I am. I have something that I'm calling the Purpose Project, because one of my themes for myself is to be the best version of myself. I just want to grow. And if the more self-aware you are, the better I'm going to be at business, right? And business isn't just about sales, right? Business is about serving your clients at the highest level. And if you're not taking care of yourself, if you don't have self-care, if you're not working out, if you're not drinking enough water, if you're not getting enough sleep, hey, we're entrepreneurs. Do we sleep? Not as much as we should. And that's just one of the 7 pillars of the Purpose Project. There's entrepreneurship, there's software, because I'm a nerd. And then there's relationships, there's the power of proximity. There's just all these different little pillars, right? And for me, I want 3 things to come out of this. I created my own room, and I am nervous. I mean, I will admit that. And people join the room. Twan and I were laughing earlier. I'm like, what if no one even shows up? And we're just, you can't talk to yourself because it's not recorded. Like, there's no point, right? So what if no one shows up? That might be a possibility, but don't let that stop you. But for me, 3 things. 1, I want to get practice. I want to get better at running a room, and then hopefully one day running a club. And I know that I'm not kind of a person who does a lot of this, where we're just kind of talking and we're doing more interviews. I'm more scripted. I'm a person who has a teleprompter, but I can't do that here. And I know that about myself, that I can, 1, ramble, 2, lose my train of thought, and 3, I know that I might not follow some of the rules, right? And I want to make sure that I know them and I can do them. So practice is going to be the key. So 11 a.m. Central Standard Time is when I'm going to go live every day for the Purpose Project, because I'm going to get better at it. Every day I'm going to get more comfortable with it. I am scared to death. I was sweating bullets when that influencer popped into my room. I thought, OMG, like, they know way more than me. I'm an imposter being here pretending like to run a room. It doesn't matter. No one cares about that. You're going to have people flock to you that love you. And then two is, in order to qualify for a club, you have to be consistent in running rooms. And so that was number 2. And then number 3, I want more invites. I have a whole plethora of people. I have a program that has 450 people, and they're all pinging me. They want in. I want to let them in. They're my tribe, Yeah. So those are the 3 reasons why I have started this Purpose Project.
Yeah. So now 11 a.m. Central, is that 12 noon Eastern?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so 12 noon Eastern. Now we're talking.
The reason why it's giving me a hard time here is because I originally had it at 5 or 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, and she thought, well, that's 4 a.m. for me in the West Coast. That's crazy. And I had a lot of people say, Angie, I want to join, but it's too early for me. So I moved it to midday to accommodate, and that's okay, because here's the beauty of it. You could be running, you could be eating, you could be even taking a bath. No one knows if you're not wearing nothing but a smile, because it's audio only. You don't have to get ready. So I love it. I'm so excited about it.
Pants are not required for the Clubhouse.
And while we're talking about Angie's Purpose Project, so it's a tip on how do you get more people in your room. If you're going to do a room, schedule it. So you can see I got a notification, Angie Norris, schedule the purpose project, be the best for you, Tuesday, December 22nd at 12 p.m. So it's Eastern. So I click on that and then I see what's under it that says today at noon, the purpose project, be the best you. And it shows people in the description of the room. And then Clubhouse gives you different ways to share this information or save it. So it says share, tweet it, copy the link, and add it to your calendar. So what I did is I added it to my calendar. Click that button. It opens up my Google Calendar. And then bam, her Clubhouse room that she's doing at 12 o'clock is on my calendar. Did I get my Google notification? I got it 30 minutes before in email and 30 minutes before as a ping on my phone to remind me that she was going to be live on Clubhouse. So a great way to get people into your room is to actually schedule it. Good job, Angie. Woo!
Yes, Angela. Again, and I love that you jumped in to host a room right from the beginning, right even as a newbie. And here's really why I like it, Angie, because you were saying, oh, I want to make sure I follow the rules. Yeah, okay, fine. Some of the rules. But at the same time, there have been rules or mores or standards of what Clubhouse was, AKA Silicon Valley Clubhouse. It will be dramatically different now that internet marketers, affiliate marketers, and social media marketers are joining it, right?
Right.
They both ruin every app and make every app better. It's the 2020, right? Like it's the catch-22, right? It's just the way it is. So their rules are the things that, oh, well, don't be so self-promotional. If you're not self-promotional in this business, you're out of business, right? So now profiles are looking different. And that's why I said, now I'm going to go back to being Coach Deb, because that's how people know me. And it's weird being introduced as Deborah, right? Like when Angie brought me in to moderate Les Brown, and she's like, Deborah, I'm like, Coach Deb, like, right? It was weird even saying that. So what I like about this, Angie, is that you're going to make up how Clubhouse needs to be for you, for your clients, for your audience, for your fans, for your friends, right? It's what do you want to make it? And this is where I get excited about Clubhouse and any new app like this that has potential to be something beyond what it is right now, just like Twitter. When Twitter first started, and there was like maybe 100, 200 people, I was joining from Hawaii. It was like a Zoom room, except Zoom really wasn't around. So I don't know what it was, but it was a video conference. And it was in San Diego. I was in Hawaii. I couldn't go to the actual in-person conference. So I joined video, right? And the name of it, there was maybe 16 people in the room. It was a very small event. And the name of it was, will Twitter ever go mainstream? And I'm like, yes. And this is why. So I was able to participate. I was able to talk about why I thought on Twitter. It's the same thing with Clubhouse. Clubhouse will blow up. Mark my words, right? I've been saying this since August. I've been saying this since October, but now I get to say it to more people because more of our people are on it, right? But then I hear the naysayers. Oh, I give it a year. I give it 4 years. I give it 5. I don't care if it's gone in 6 months and it's only here during 2020, 2021 while there are no events. It's where every event is happening around the world right now.
Right.
So do you want to be nowhere, or do you want to be where people are at, where all the influencers are at, where the conversations are at, where tips are being given, where new technology is being shared? Like, so much information is shared. Plus the thought leaders of Silicon Valley, if you're following them and you join their rooms, it's fascinating the things that is being talked about. And you're getting to be a part of that now and hear those conversations where you never ever were able to be in the room with these Silicon Valley investors and leaders. When I first joined, I have a bunch of screenshots. I'll probably put this all together with the book, Alicia, as we put like maybe something together. There are so many incredible investors that are in Clubhouse. So if you want a Series A, a Series B, if you want to get funded, the people that you want to reach are on Clubhouse. Alicia introduced me in the beginning of this call or the beginning of this show as that I created the first ever funnel builder or software builder, right? It was a website builder. It was automated. And I didn't go and sell it and take it public because I didn't know those people at the time. Imagine 20 years fast forward, I have that software now and I have all these people that would be interested. So if you have a product, if you have something that you want to take to market, man, you want to be at Clubhouse and follow those people in that room. It's beyond just the internet marketing world. It's beyond just the social media. There are legit heavy hitter influencers. There are heavy hitter political influencers. And we see these people and they're mentioned and they're like, oh, again, like Angie said, oh, this influencer. Imagine if that influencer is in your room and you're a Silicon Valley influencer, right? So there are an amazing number of people. Do searches, look for it, use the algorithm, type in the things that you're interested in, and be like Angie. Go for it. Set your own rules. Set however you want your room to be. Clubhouse, a year from now, 2 months from now, will be very different than what it is right now, because you will join it and you will take your ideas. There was someone in the chat earlier. She's like, oh my gosh, I have so many ideas for this. And I believe it will become the radio show, the podcast, the conference, the in-person conference, the secret mastermind, the club, the extension for your products, your courses, your services. There are so many things that Clubhouse will be that it doesn't exist right now because you are not on it making it happen. So kudos to Angie. Be like Angie.
And Deb, just on that note of how it's growing and all this attention on it. So I also teach freelancers, people who offer services as a freelancer, different, skill sets and things to offer. So what I'm now teaching people is to offer things that Clubhouse users need. So, offer to be a moderator in a Clubhouse room. These are something that somebody's going to pay you for, a professional moderator. Offer to write, if you're a writer, offer to write a Clubhouse bio. You would be surprised by how many people are just intimidated by writing their bio, and they're not writing good, they're not writing good bios. Even something that you could do is, I will add my followers to your room. So somebody could have that as a service where you have, Deb has 200 followers. She's offering this as a service. So she comes into your room and invites all of her friends to your room if it's, same topic based. So there's going to be a lot of people in the service-based niche that are going to offer all these different services to Clubhouse users. So right now, like I went to check on Fiverr a few days ago, and there was no one on Fiverr offering to do any of this yet, but you watch, right? I'm going to have a whole bunch of my students that are going to be offering this as a service and making money from it that way as well.
Love that.
So this was Tuan's room, actually. So you can add people and tell them to add people. So in Tuan's room, I added my sister Lorette. So there's that little plus button at the bottom. And then I searched for her name, found her, clicked on her. So I sent her an invite to come into his room. There's that leave quietly that Deb was talking about right there, and the microphone where you can mute and unmute the microphone.
Yeah. So right now, Alicia's showing you a room. Like that's the room. So I remember as this was describing, I go, I don't get it. What do you mean a room? And I had this weird visual of an actual stage, and you opened a door, right? Like the app was almost like a virtual type of a conference, but this is it. It's just, you see the app, you select what room you want, you click on it. And when you click on it, this is what she's showing. Now, everyone here, are those all the people on the stage, or is that just in the audience?
That was his stage at that time. So he if you see yourself there, just say me, because I see Kathy, Angie, like a lot of the people that are listening right now. We're actually on that stage right there. So,
and it looks like it's interesting because again, someone is already breaking the rules. She's got coach there, right? So it's not the first name. So already people are starting to put what their brand is, not their first name. So yay, right. Coach with the green glasses.
Yeah. And then here's the search function. So let's say you want to find people in GrooveFunnels, you can click the search. So when you get back to your feed or the main hallway, as they call it, there's a button on the top left. That's that person button and the plus sign. So if you do that, you can search for GrooveFunnels and you'll see a bunch of GrooveFunnels people come up. Now, these are people that have the word GrooveFunnels written like that in their bio. So you can find them that way. Also, you can find people to follow. So I typed in Deborah Cole and look who comes up at the top. It's her right there. So you can also type in Hawaii, Atlanta. There's different things that you're looking for, the different topics that you're looking for, type it into search to find the people to follow that would match what you're looking for. So then the last thing, how are people monetizing Clubhouse? So I'll give some tips, and then if Angie and Deb can chime in. I've seen people monetize it like Mr. Banks' profile that I showed you. So I was in one of his rooms, and he is just giving out his links and giving out, text this if you want to get this free report, or go here and Instagram, send a DM in my Instagram. So people are monetizing it by, telling people to inbox them if they're interested, and then they can sell them something later, or straight up selling them something. And then also giving away something for free and getting them to download it. What else have you seen, Angie and Deb, for how people are monetizing Clubhouse?
I've seen a lot of monetization without really it being like clickbait, right? Where people are just constantly talking about their offers, and there's nothing like that. It is just having conversations, but people are asking for that information.
Yeah.
Oh, you're amazing at this. Can you get me more information? And because there's no way to communicate, yes, you can find me at .com. And it's amazing because it doesn't feel like they're spamming. It's not like they have that agenda. It's just someone asked them that question and they're giving it. And then one person left the room, and it was really funny. She's like, hey, bye guys. It was great to, see you. And obviously she wasn't on camera. She was just talking on the audio. And then at the very end, she's like, okay, don't forget, link up with me at and so she actually said it when she was leaving. And like I said, again, it did not feel like it was you were being sold to. So I love that.
Yeah. I love that. I was also in a room where the host brought on a whole bunch of people on stage, and then he said, we're just going to go one by one, and I want you guys, he made everybody refresh the feed. He said, we're going to go one by one. I just want you in 60 seconds to talk about who you are, what you have to offer. And it was at the very end of like a 3-hour long discussion that he had. And everybody just went through who they are. And this was his tribe. These were his students, and he was trying to get them more business, but it really did work well. Deb, have you seen any strategies of how people are monetizing?
I've only been in it with the early people that monetization was literally not a thing and it was frowned upon. So that's probably why I'm excited this past week. My phone's been blowing up all sorts of hours, weekends, whatever, like so-and-so just joined Clubhouse. Do you want to welcome him in? So-and-so just joined. So-and-so just joined. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I feel like someone at TNC must have mentioned it. And this is where now all of a sudden people are joining. That's always what we see, right? It's an in-person conference. Like South by Southwest is when Twitter blew up, right? Everyone started using it. And actually it was kind of interesting. There was someone on stage and everyone was kind of talking about the person, what they did on stage, and everyone used it. And that's how it became a major player. So it's the same thing with Clubhouse. I think someone recently from TNC, and that's traffic and conversion. So they're all about traffic and conversion, which obviously join Clubhouse because it's the event. And the other thing too, I was thinking about, it's funny because Kathy Walls earlier, where she's like, Kate is going to hate, if I can find her. Where is it? Yeah. Hello. Heather. I'm going to be where the combo's at. Haters going to hate. Exactly. And Kathy, you're going to be in the room where it happens, where the naysayers are like, oh, it's just going to be an app that's here today and gone tomorrow. Just like every in-person conference. Does that mean you don't go to a conference because it's going to be gone in a week? Right? Like that's the logic.
Right.
And again, this isn't just a little willy-nilly app. Like it's an audio-based app. There are major influencers, major players. Think about it this way. Twitter took forever for the celebrity athletes, the celebrity in Hollywood, the influencers, politicians to realize, oh, this is an app that's worth paying attention to. Now they're all over it and they've ruined it for all of us, right? But Clubhouse started. Oprah was on it way before everyone else. Like Oprah and Ellen were some of the last people to join Twitter. And then once they were on it, all of a sudden the masses were on it. Oprah's already on it, right? Gail's already on it. All of these influencers from TV, traditional TV, are already on it. Celebrities are on it, comedians are on it, entertainers are on it. So maybe that's the other thing when you talk about people monetizing Clubhouse. Again, it wasn't monetization. A lot of musicians and artists that were out of work were trying to figure out, okay, well, we can play, because again, it's audio, so we can play our music. And then you had the Cash App, right? You mentioned the Cash App that somebody had. They were mentioning things like that. But again, these were the artists. this is where I felt bad that all of our people weren't there to help him and help some of these artists because they didn't know how to monetize it. So that's what you're here for, Angie and Alicia and everyone else on this line that knows how to monetize. Like, you need to help people that are on Clubhouse so that they don't have to be starving artists, so that now that they can't have a concert, like, think about it. If you're a musician, if you're in a band, if you're an entertainer, you're done. What can you possibly do? But now you can do something using this app, using Clubhouse. You can entertain. And we started seeing a lot of that this past year. So that's kind of where I was seeing the monetization. It was the artists that were joining it, not necessarily our people selling products and services.
Right. I was telling a producer that I was talking to who was on Clubhouse. We were in a little Clubhouse room with a bunch of music producers. And I said, one of the things that you could do is before you let people speak or even raise their hand, tell them that they have to go download, the music or buy the latest album from iTunes or CD Baby or wherever it is. Like, make them do something in order to be able to raise their hand. And once they raise their hand, they confirm that they've done it. Now, there's no way to go double check, but usually people are pretty good about that, right?
Yeah.
So we would hope that they would be.
Yeah, it's like, be a good person, don't lie. It's an honor system.
That's it for the PowerPoint, Deb. If people have any other questions, you can pull the PowerPoint off the screen now if you want to.
I love it. Round of applause for Alicia's PowerPoint. I love all of you that are participating. Oh, now we're really close up and personal here. There's a couple questions here, so I'm going to pull some of these up, and I'm going to change the view here so we can see the question. Dean, text typing is one of the lowest forms of connected communication. Audio will always be better and more relational because you can add more value for sure. Absolutely. And then you asked a question right after that. I missed most of this. It's okay. We're recording this, so it's not like it's Clubhouse and it's gone. I missed most of this. Are there good, better, best ways to get an invite to Clubhouse? It's a great question because people keep asking that. So Alicia, you want to share your hack? Maybe pull up the PowerPoint once again. Do you want me to pull that up?
Yeah, let me go back to that slide because I think it's easier to walk through it.
You are in luck, Dean, because Alicia has a hack. Okay, go ahead.
So number one way to do it, the easiest way is to get an invitation, but invitations are scarce. Unless scarce, not scarce, scarce. Unless,
I like that.
Unless you're Coach Deb and have a million of them. But
23, that's all.
There's a backdoor strategy. And I think Michael even added to this backdoor strategy. But what you can do is that when you go to Clubhouse to sign up, so download the app. Yes, you have to be an iPhone user, but download the app, save your username. It'll put you on a wait list. And then your friends that are in Clubhouse will get a notification in their activity section on Clubhouse, and then they can let you in. So they'll see this little notification, and then you push let them in, and then you can let them in to Clubhouse. So Michael added a hack on top of that where he said, what you could do is get a list of the contacts and your friends that you know that are on Clubhouse already, get all their phone numbers, and then send that contact list to, your friends that want to join. Oh, there it is right there. And then, so what happens is that it picks up on your phone number. So this is Anissa Holmes. I have her phone number in my phone. So it told me that she's on the waiting list and I can let her in. It's only going to do this with people that are on your contact list. So Michael's backdoor strategy really helps because then you have more contacts that are on Clubhouse in your phone as your contacts. So Deb was saying to DM us, like inbox one of us, me, Angie, or Deb, your phone number, and we'll add you to our phone and then go download the app. And then hopefully we'll see you in our activity section and can let you in. But that's how we've been letting people in.
And I think that does work because someone asked, well, what if you do it after the fact? Because some of the Groove team, like Chelsea, who's our social media manager, I definitely wanted to get her on Clubhouse. And I think she was in my phone, or I had to add her name. I think the phone was in there, or the number, but I had to add her full first and last name because I had her as like Chelsea Groove. So she was already in there, but then she signed up after the fact. So she got in, and then same thing with Leanne. Leanne, I think you're definitely next, that you're going to get another invite, or you're going to get the next invite. So I do think that backdoor strategy, as far as them coming up, does in fact work. Now, the other thing for international, users, the 2 questions, Android users and international users. So the hack around that, if you're an Android, but you have an iPad, or if you have a friend that has an old iPhone, hit them up, just get an iPhone for that. But I have heard rumors that they are going to open up the app in the spring of this coming year. So you may only have to wait 2 or 3 months. And
major FOMO with that, major FOMO.
Yeah, I know. As I'm saying that, I was like, oh, I know, but you're going to miss out on so much. The other thing is, remember, they just came out of beta in October. They opened up their app in October on the App Store. So they're baby. They're like 2 months old here. So, forgive them that they're not ready for Android yet, but I hear that is opening up. But if you have an iPad or someone else has an iPad, that's a hack. Go ahead, Alicia.
One thing is that there's also a fake Clubhouse that Android users are downloading, and it's not the real Clubhouse. So they get in there and they're like, how come this looks different than the other Clubhouse? So just be wary of that. I had a whole bunch of friends saying they're on Android and they're on Clubhouse. They sent me a screenshot. I'm like, oh, that's the wannabe one. I don't know who put that out there, but somebody did that. So there's one that's not the official one that's on the Android store.
Oh, Laura said downloaded on Android. So that's
It's the other one. It's not the right one. It has a picture. It's a black and white picture of a guy like almost like reggae, and he has kind of a fro and he's like dancing. That's the logo. They do not have an official logo that I know of. So make sure you look for the app.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get the logo so people.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. There. Mm-hmm. You see the ring light reflection. So that's the logo. It used to be a chick and now it's a dude. So they're
it does work on iPad. So iPad, iOS, it definitely works for sure.
Mm-hmm. It works.
Yeah. And then how does it work for iPad? I got over. Oh, you're just answering. And then Introverted Entrepreneur says, I have an iPhone 5 and it doesn't update to the level that's required by Clubhouse. Well, that stinks. So that is good to know. So it has to be a higher level than a 5 iPhone. So 6, maybe 6 SE, 7. I'll have to check it because before I got the 11 Pro Max, I had the 7. So I'll have to download it there and see if it works over there. Mm-hmm. Dean Hinkey's like, oh, fake. And then the other thing is the VPN hack for those of you who are international and are trying to get your number in there or trying to show up because there was an issue with the international friends that couldn't put an international number. And they said just to use a VPN and then choose a different location. So that's kind of a workaround.
And the other thing too is if you're international, like Malaysia or some Asian countries, it may not even show up in the store. So there's like workarounds with that as well. And there's lots of tips. There's so many, and maybe we'll have a way to get to know you guys, to get that information to you. But I wanted to also just quickly go through a couple of things that I was writing down as you guys were talking of things. So number one, they're in beta. So obviously they're going to change over time. I love beta. To me, that means we're getting in on the front end. I love it. But when you book an event, so there's a calendar and you can actually add events to the calendar. You can make them public and open, right? Now, the thing is, I have a 5:30 a.m. room that there's like 7 of us and we meet every morning. We're the early birds, but I couldn't add it to the calendar because it was a closed group. So be careful, because if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to schedule all these, private groups, it doesn't work that way yet. They might have something in the future. So beware. But also, if you are wondering and you're on the app, how do you see if you have an invite to give? There is no indication if you don't have any. But the minute you do, this little icon of an envelope shows up and it'll have like the little number of how many you get. So once you click, it'll say you have 1 invite to give away. And then it'll have your friends, and then you can actually send that to them. Maybe they're not even on yet. Maybe they are. It doesn't matter. And they get a code. There's a whole process. It's pretty interesting. It's genius in my mind. I mean, the Facebook FOMO has been going on. It's been crazy. But one of my tips that I just want to talk about. Yeah, there you go.
So it does look like the Backdoor app. So Felicia is on, and then I think someone from this call just got in here. So it says, yeah, let them in. So I'm going to let them in and see if it has reduced anything on my invite app, because that could be the awesome hack. Yes, Michael Sanchez for sharing that. Okay, keep going, Angie.
I'm gonna have to try some new things because I want to get everyone in too. So okay, and then when you're starting your own rooms, it can be scary. So what I would recommend is get some other people and you guys run rooms together. It relieves the pressure. You guys can conversate together if no one's in the room or no one's really speaking or asking questions. So don't be afraid. I mean, today alone, I had like 4 or 5 meetings. And I will tell you, I was on Clubhouse every other day or every other time since 5:30 a.m. And I was having all these little side conversations, and rooms were just popping up and giving birth to new rooms. And it was so much fun. So don't be afraid of that. And 2, I saw a question about links because you had shown one that had a bunch of links. And I am not going to say that is not the right way to go, to have a ton of links in your bio, but your bio is real estate. That's where you get to actually put a call to action with some words, right? So with that, what I'm doing, because this is what I have, a lot of links. I just do. This is what I've created. I'm going to show you guys my thing. In my bio, it has 1 link. It has 3 links, but there's 1 link at the top that says connect with me. And that's the link that goes, and I'll show you what I'm doing, is it goes to this page right here. So it just goes to a single page, and you click that link and it goes here. There's a video of me, and it's just me. This is talking about GrooveFunnels because that's what I love right now. Mm-hmm. And I have, these are links, 5 links. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, you go to this. And so in my bio, it's grooveangie.com. And then you go to this, and then all the links are there. So you can try something like that. If you don't have a call to action or something like that, at the bottom, you can have, whatever. You can have a web page. We have a free landing builder that you can go to, right? So you can actually have a web page. You can go to their Instagram, but just always have some way of people to message you. So Tuan, my answer, because here's what he asked, would be less is more, I would say. More about who you are versus too many links is my opinion, because when I go to a page and it's like link, like that guy, I probably wouldn't follow him because I'm like, man, like I really am not interested in that stuff. But I bet you the more I listen to his expertise, because I'm in a room with him, I'm like, wow, well, maybe he does know his stuff, and then I'll go. So, there's 2 sides of the coin, but for me, I think less is more, and making it clean and getting your point across and leaving an impression of who you want them to know who you are.
Yeah, it's almost like make a first impression, right? And then I love how you have them going to another page to get to know you more, right? So again, if you think of it like a dating app, it's just getting to know them, giving them the gist of it, and highlighting it. And who do you want to know? Who are the types of people you want to attract? That's what you want to put on there, right? So, and that's why you'll notice I have optimist, right? Or positivity, because that's what I want to attract. I don't want to attract the people who are just like complaining or doom and gloom and, oh, we're all doomed, right? I'm like, no, you're not going to like me. I'm going to turn you off because I'm going to be like, yeah, right? Jazz hands all the time, right? So put who you are. And so I've also had people say how like they, try to build rapport and be like likable to everyone. It's just not feasible, and it's exhausting. It'll drain your energy. So if you just attract and be the person that you want to have around you and put that in your profile with words, that will be the better strategy than trying to attract everybody, right? You're better off screening people out, right? Just like Angie was like, no, I don't think nope. And she didn't follow him. So he screened her out with that. So be aware of that. Yeah, on your profile. Looks like Laura's asking, is there a way for those of us in the chat to get a hold of the presentation you're shown here? Would be super useful as a reference document. If not, will you be leaving this broadcast up on YouTube? So yes, and yes. Yes is going to stay up on YouTube. It's, I think, on 8 different channels. It's on the GrooveFunnels channels. It's on the CoachDeb channels. So wherever you came in from, or if you just found us on YouTube, welcome. But then also we are turning this conversation into an ebook. So we're going to transcribe it. We're going to take all the superfluous story stuff, right, that we went on, and then give you a guide for what is called onboarding in Clubhouse. It'll be the quick orientation, the do's and don'ts, the accelerated tips on using Clubhouse, how to get an invite, if that's one of the things. I just realized I'm stepping away from my desk and phone. And then Alicia, you want to talk a little bit about what we decided to do where we turn this presentation into a book that's usable for those of you on the call.
Yeah, so we already have our writer ready. She's waiting for us to finish this. She's probably sitting here saying, 1 hour, 48 minutes, you guys need to wrap up. We'll give it to her and she'll turn it into that book that Deb was talking about. And then we'll let you guys know. I'm sure Deb will send a message out, or we'll get back on when it's ready so that everybody can have the opportunity to jump in on it. Angie, do we have a group everybody can jump in for a waiting room as they're waiting for the book to come out and get more tips and resources?
Yes, because when I posted that we were going to be doing this, and a lot of people aren't on, right? They're not on here yet. And they're like, but I'm not on yet, so I can't apply those principles and those things. But how do I get notified later down the road? And so we thought about, I guess people are going to want a place to go to. For one, hey, I need an invite. Anyone have an extra one? That might be a topic of conversation. Number two, there's a book coming out. How do you get on that waiting list? So thanks, Tuan, for asking that. And then also, you're going to have tips. You're going to have questions. And we want to be there because we're a little, I explain an expert as someone who's one step ahead. And I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I do have a lot of intel because I love software. I love learning stuff. So all three of us together, we have so many things and tips. So we're creating a group. We just created it just like not too long ago.
How long have we been on it? An hour before?
I mean, there is nothing. There's no description. There's not even a cover photo. But if you go on Facebook, it is Clubhouse Conversions is the name. And that's facebook.com/groups/Clubhouse Conversions is the thing. And I'm probably saying it wrong. I don't know if we can post a comment, but that is where we're going to post everything. And, this group is just to help you because we believe in it. And I'm telling you, I cannot wait for anybody who's waiting on the waiting list to get on this app. It is going to blow your mind. And at first it might overwhelm you. I know that because that's what I've been having this week. But at the same time, it's going to keep drawing you back in. And then you're going to find ways to monetize. And that's what we're going to teach in the book and in the group is how do you monetize this? And guess what? The app is free. It's free. It's not like you have to pay anything. So how can you leverage it? And so it's Clubhouse Conversions is the name of the group. Search it. The three of us, I quickly added as, the admin so you guys can actually find us. And like I said, nothing's out there right now. I promise we'll get some stuff and we'll let you know about all the things that are coming up.
And I just have to say this about Angie and Alicia. We've been chatting probably since October. Angie, I just met. She was my coffee girl. Alicia, I've known for 20 years, and we wound up reconnecting. We saw each other in person in Vegas. Angie, I met her in Florida when we were doing the 14-day live Groovathon. And I say she was my coffee girl because she's this powerhouse that just made, I don't want to throw numbers, but let's just say she's a baller now with the numbers that she pulled in. Okay. But I was raised in a family where you don't talk numbers or your flashy cars and all that, but she could. So here she was, just made a boatload, right, with the Groove system, with her coaching, with the videos that she did. And then she came and showed up again, just as a random, hey, let me help you out. Let me go to Florida and see what I can do with this Groovathon. And then, so here she was, this baller that then agreed to, I think, when you were in Florida, I kind of was like, hey, you want to host? Want to be a host? We have some gaps here. Alicia Lyttle was already one of our speakers, one of our hosts, right? So she's like, yes. So she says, yes. I love her. Love this yes girl. And then she's like, anything that, we're going to Starbucks in the morning. Can you get coffee? Because there really wasn't a coffee maker there. I'm like, yes, thank you. So every day she was just this blessing to me because her and Kathy Walls went to Starbucks locally. I felt like I was chained to the group producer's desk because this was a live 24/7. And if anyone didn't show up or didn't have a code or whatever, we had to jump on it really quickly. So time was precious. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it and was such a blessing, Angie. But then the next thing that I see with you, every time I see you, it's she is constantly coming up with conversion building ideas, 7-figure ideas. We actually created this little Skype group of just the 3 of us, 7-figure ladies. And I'm like, this is not something public. It's not something I'm creating any type of group for or whatever. But every time I talk to these ladies, it's 7-figure ideas, 7-figure thoughts, 7-figure strategies, right? With the funnels that you're building, with the e-commerce that Alicia is doing, right? It's just all 7-figure ideas, and just go, 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 ambitious, 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 and always thinking conversion, always thinking about the funnel and how do you get the lead and then make a sale? Because that's what everybody wants, right? People don't just want eyeballs. They don't want just fans. They want conversions. They want clients. So here's how powerful your brain works on conversion, Angie. I don't think you realize this. So today, we were all running around. We were doing some work, and then we all had like a personal errand to run. And while I'm on this errand, she's like, "Hey, I just did the Facebook group. Right? It was like an hour ago before we came back here." She's like, "But I don't have any graphics for it. But just join it. And here you go. It's Facebook conversions." I was like, "Dude, that's a great name." And she's like, I'm like, "You're a genius. I love how your brain works." She goes, "Oh, you thought of it. You're the one who gave me the name." But I didn't, Angie. Last night I was saying Clubhouse conversions, right? And I was saying Clubhouse conversations. So I was going to write a book about Clubhouse conversations because we're having conversations there. But we've all been talking about conversions, right? And how do you convert? And your brain is so conversion oriented with your 7-figure funnel brain system. You're the one who said, "Oh, I'm going to make this convert." And like, that is such a better name than conversations, because who cares about the conversations if it's not leading to conversions if you're in business, right? And it's, ladies, those of you watching, men too, but ladies specifically, it's okay to be ambitious and to sell and to make money and to talk about how awesome you are. So those of you who are joining this Facebook group and who want an invitation to Clubhouse, you have to commit to being willing to make money, to attract money, to attract the best, to attract clients, to think bigger than you ever have thought before. And actually, Angie, this wasn't a thought about, we're all talking about Clubhouse right now, but I want you to share a little bit of your story of what 2020 was like for you, because I feel like you've converted as a person and how you think, and you're now all conversion oriented.
Yes. So I have spent 20 years corporately, conditioned by society to say that was the only way to make a consistent living. And I've done really, really well that way. I mean, I've made over $1 million, I'll say, collectively in that 20 years working corporately. It was great. I loved it. But I always had this yearning to do my own thing and to be my own boss, right? And so that was something that had really just made me go, you know what? I turned 40 a few years ago, and I thought, I have been waiting to start my own thing, but I'm scared. I don't know if I can make the jump from corporate to online. I started doing some research and everything, and I came across Russell Brunson and the whole funnel world, and my mind was blown. I can do websites, I can do all these graphics, and I can do a lot of stuff, but I didn't realize that you can actually turn your IP, your intellectual property, your knowledge, your expertise, your superpowers, your passions, your hobbies. I mean, the list goes on, right? Every single person has something they can go and impact the world. What if you can turn those impact into income, right? What if you can turn your passion into paydays? What if you can turn your intellect into income streams? That was mind-blowing for me, right? And I had to start from zero. And so I came out of corporate America a year ago. It was June of the year before, right? So a year and a half ago, I guess now, that we're in December. And I had to start from scratch. Now, my family wasn't really happy that I was leaving corporate America. I was working for a company, a Hewlett-Packard enterprise company. I was the principal global sales enablement of the workplace and mobility portfolio, helping sales guys do that, right? And my visionary head is this: I can see a problem and I can see the solution, and I can see from inception to completion how to do it, and then every step in between. That's the way my brain works. But I'm going to give you guys a little thing. is that I did that 20 years for other people. I was good at making other people look good. I had never done it for myself. And so coming into this world was scary. There were so many mindset barriers that I had to overcome. Imposter syndrome is my constant companion, and I got to knock it down. And I have these beautiful ladies and all of my business besties that walk me off that ledge of, you cannot give up. You got to pursue. So I started a business. It took me a long time to even make $1, over 9 months. Let's just say that was very depressing. And we still don't have an oven, which is crazy. It's been 3 years, but we didn't have an oven. And it was because we didn't have the money that we wanted to spend for the oven, right? And so I'm going through and I'm trying to make money. My husband just does not. He's like, why are you doing this? You have these job offers. And I'm like, I want to do this. I got to do this. I got to burn the boat. And I went and I was inspired by all of these people. Like Deb Cole, I didn't know her then, but man, if I would have came across her, I would have been so inspired. Alicia Lyttle, man, she was a mentor to Deb Cole. So you can imagine how much expertise she has. And I'm thinking, I have what it takes. I think I have what it takes. And I started trying to believe in myself in the way that, hey, I have a bunch of information in my head that I can help impact someone. If I can impact one person, just one person, to me, that is it. But you also have to make some income, right? And so that's where I tried my business and I failed for months. And then I started having conversations. I went to events. I went and I was meeting people in Facebook groups and starting to grow a tribe of people that I know, like, and trust. I got mentors. I started enrolling in programs. I started learning. And that was when the shift happened. And then was when Groove came out of nowhere. My business started to finally take off. I was making, here some money and getting some clients, and it was going. And then all of a sudden in June of this year, less than 6 months away, or 6 months ago, Groove Funnels, which is now rebranded to Groove because they have 20 apps underneath one roof and it's all Groove. I love it. I love their name. Groove came out of nowhere and it hit me upside the head, and it was a blessing in disguise because I had no intention of even trying to promote the platform. I was looking for a solution for me because I had clients, I had some students, and I wanted to give them something free, a free funnel builder. And what I was with before didn't have that. And I didn't want them to have to pay. I'm a servant leader and I love giving. And it's like, if I can get them to that next level, I don't want them to have to pay any more than they paid for me to get into my program or my challenge or whatever, right? So Groove solved that problem for me. And I loved the potential in the future because when you're in beta, and I come from a software background, I know what release means. People think they know what release means. Release doesn't mean really release to the public. It means release into a beta. It means release into testing. It means release to a subset of people. And that's what we are. If you're a founding Groove Funnels person, that you get a deal. You get a deal, a special deal to get in right now. And that's exactly what I did. I thought, man, $13.97 one-time fee, that is like nothing. I'm paying that in less than 5 months of my previous builder. And I can tell you, I was with ClickFunnels and I have invested in ClickFunnels and their coaching programs and their products. I'm afraid because my husband might hear, but over $30,000 from that community. And the best thing out of it was the people. Like the people I met in these different events online, they're my business besties. I can't imagine my life without them. And that was why I think this Clubhouse is going to be a game changer because it's bringing that back to me in my life. I'm going to be able to meet more people like that. And that's my favorite thing. So Groove Funnels. I decided that if I'm having these pain points with my funnel builder, other people are going to have them as well. And so I shared, hey, I have this software that I just got. I'm so excited. I was afraid to put the name of it in the post on Facebook because I didn't want to offend all my people that were pro the other builder. And that one post took off. And it just solves some needs that a lot of us are having. You don't have to duct tape all your softwares together. You don't have to pay month after month forever and just keep adding all these other things. I paid $500 to get my funnel builder set up with my affiliate program. And I just didn't really like that I had to pay even more just to get them to work and talk to each other. This is awesome because now it doesn't. And now in my first month of GrooveFunnels, that post made me $30,000 in expected commission. Within 60 days, $60,000 in expected commission. And let's just say now I'm well over six figures, making $10,000 a week. And I am just so thankful for the opportunities. But here's the thing. There's way more than just the affiliate opportunity. There is your own software opportunities. There's alignment offers where you can create something to help current users enhance their experience with GrooveFunnels, whether it's a coaching program or whether it is something to help people not have to design their own funnels or sales pages or CRMs or whatever it is, right? And so that's what I love about it, because there's two things for me. I'm a software person. I love the software. I have just been so excited about all the improvements week after week after week, and I can't wait for all the new apps to come out. And then I also, the affiliate side, I'm not a salesperson. I suck at sales. I admit that 100%. I give things away. I'm my own best customer. I just can't be a salesperson, but I don't have to be. What I did to make that money was I led with why I bought it. I showed people my journey of coming into the Groove world and told them it solves these problems for me. It did this for me. It changed my life. It really did. And so yes, Deb, I've made money and I'm so excited with the affiliate, and I'm a top affiliate. I think I'm number one on the leaderboard right today. And Alicia, she came into the world and she won a car. I mean, how exciting is that? And then now, we just have and we're in the beginning. So like for me, what's exciting about, and even with Clubhouse, same thing. Mm-hmm. If you look at Groove as it's going to go to monthly plans, you're not going to ever get this lifetime ever again, right? They're going to go out of that. And then that whole first year, if you get in them, you're early. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting in now, you are early. And the early bird wins, the first mover's advantage. And that's why Clubhouse is going to be awesome, because I believe I can see it, and man, I'm just excited. So sorry I rambled on, but awesome. I just love software.
Yeah. And first of all, I love you, Angie. And I as you started, if people are watching on the replay, and you can rewind here, just you admitting what your accomplishments were, it's like a pause and we stutter and we're like, I don't want to tell. And then we just do it. So that's part of what Clubhouse Conversions is going to be. It's just going to be that almost a sport group. And when we do Clubhouse groups, and we will start a club, the three of us, we figure, I don't know that I want to start a club on my own, but I could do it with these three girls. Because then if I have a crazy life and business and, Alicia has to go and speak somewhere around the world, right, we can cover for one another. And it'll be that support where I want every one of you to commit to just stepping into your power, stepping into your greatness. Like, you are amazing, Angie. And when I asked you to host back in October in Florida, I had no idea that you would get nervous or anything like that. I never see it. I just see your brilliance and I see you shine. Yeah.
I have sweaty palms. I just get nervous. And it's so funny because I have to razz her a little bit, because she messaged me and said, hey, Angie, would you like to host Groovathon for a few hours? And I'm like, sure. And so she puts me on for 4 hours. And then the next time I talked to her, she's like, okay, so here's your schedule. And it was 4 hours Saturday and 4 hours Sunday. And I'm like, oh, it's 8 hours. Okay. And then she's like, okay, I updated the schedule. And it was 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours. And then later people were dropping off because of, family issues. And she's like, hey, do you mind filling in? And then I had it all. I ended up hosting for over 25 hours total. And that included one-on-one with Mike. But it was like, I didn't get paid for that. We didn't get paid for that. We did it because we believe in this. We believe in this. We wanted to be a part of history, right? And so, I'm all in Groove. I think that I'm just excited to be a part of the Groove family.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's like, oh, by the way, if you're a producer, that's how you get them with just a little bit. And they're like, oh, this is good. I like this. I'm having fun. Because you have to admit, it's just like Clubhouse. It gets addicting. When you were hosting Groovathon, like, oh, this is fun. And it's because of all of you on watching, contributing, commenting. Like this, it's why we do it. And if there were only like 2 people, we would have been done sharing tips, out of here. I have dinner in the other room. It's cold probably, right? We're here because we want to help you convert. We want to help you step up. Again, Alicia, she won a car. She went all in on that contest and I'm trying to think of an appropriate expression. I can't right now. I'm keeping this PG rated, but like just went to the wall, like all in, and then wins a car, right? That's what I want to just keep encouraging you. And I love, Angie, that you started a Clubhouse group while you're in newbie status. I love that you're doing it every day. So those of you who are joining, waiting for an invite, we're going to work our butts off to try to get you in and then, get you to shine and host a room. And I've noticed, by the way, Alicia, busy working while you were sharing your story. Shall we share the screen and talk about what you've been busy doing?
Yeah. Share the screen. So if you're not in the group yet, you see the link right there. Get in the group really quickly because I'm approving you guys right now, like right now. Of course, if you're watching on this on a replay, do it. Mm-hmm. But you guys are here live. So do it right now. And as you're doing it, I'm approving you right away, getting you into that group before we end this. So you guys should be able to see the group. Again, the name, Clubhouse Conversions. Find it, jump in. We've got our initiation post that we posted here. You guys are doing really good.
Wow.
with the gifts in the comments. But yeah, people are joining.
Multitasking. They're watching us and joining. I love it.
I do want to say that the 3 of us aren't creating this group to be the 3 talking heads and helping and not letting you guys be a part of it. We want you guys, as you're learning this, to bring tips, help other people. Like together, we'll do it way, way, way better than if we were just trying to navigate alone. So yes, I love that this person wrote, winning games, would love an invite too. I'm a digital marketer, can contribute on strategies and methods. I mean, to me, that's amazing because you're a servant leader. You want to jump in, you want to help. And that's exactly what we're looking for is we want a tribe of people that we're going to rise together. We're not there to try to sell each other a bunch of stuff. We're there to, hey, let's really take this to the next level and convert. We're going to convert. And it's not, the end game is going to be impact. You're going to go in, you're going to make an impact with your voice. You're going to make an impact with your tone, with who you are. Guess what? The leads are going to follow, and that'll be income. So impact into income. I believe Clubhouse is going to do that for you. And if you watch and you're a spy, I've been spying on so many people. I'm like, man, they did that. That's so clever. Ooh, I'm going to write that down. And we're taking notes. I have 3 or 4 pages of notes right now, and they have notes, and they have notes. And so we are putting that together in this group, and we're just going to be giving you guys all that we've learned so that you can come in and hit the ground running.
I should probably screenshot, like take a picture, because I literally wrote a book on, it was like one of these little, like the journal books. And then I got a bigger one because as I was in Clubhouse, and then some of the conversations and the connections and the people and just the Clubhouse rooms, it's like a conference, but it's free, right? It's free. Right. So I'm either going to type it up or I'll just get screenshots of some of the tips from Clubhouse. I even have a section of an OMG, what I call like the, oh my gosh, it's a long story. I call it the omelet eyes, where someone tells you so shocking, like they've never had an omelet before. And you're like, what? There were a couple moments where things were said in Clubhouse where I was like, what? So I even have an OMG section that for me, it was just more posterity. Like, did that really happen in the beginning days of Clubhouse? And I'll share those OMG moments with you, and you can share your OMG moments of things you hear in Clubhouse. But yeah, any tips, Michael Sanchez, if you're still on here, feel free to share your tips. We're going to grab some of these screenshots of some of the hacks and ways to get an invite. So that's the other thing. We're going to try to get everyone in this group an invite somehow, because obviously you're a contributor. Obviously you are someone that gets engaged, and that's what Clubhouse needs to grow it into an awesome community. Alicia, any other thoughts or things you want to share as you're showing this? I love that you're an action taker too. Love it. She's just like getting stuff done.
Let's go. Deb, can you put that link in the comments? Some people were asking for the link just directly there to make it more clickable so that that happens. We have 42 people in so far. So if you're not in the group yet, make sure that you do that now. Like join right now so that we can get you in. And then, like Deb and Angie said, in this group, we'll post tips, but we want you guys to post tips as well. And we'll do our best for you. All right. So yeah, I'm just approving everybody as we go.
Yeah. So some of the topics that I've been writing down of things that I want to pour into what I'm learning and taking notes on is that, Clubhouse to me is that you're not creating content. And at first that was a turnoff. I thought, we're not even going to monetize. We're not going to be able to put our content out to the world. We're not publishing the long lasting stuff, right? We're not YouTubing it. And at first I thought that was, oh man, that's kind of a turnoff. Now I love the concept, and future they're going to have recording options. But right now I'm actually getting to know people on a subterranean level. And to me, so you're not creating content, you are creating connection with Clubhouse. And that's what I love. And then the other thing I'm going to work on is 12 steps that you are a Clubhouse, or 10 signs or 12 signs you know that you're Clubhouse obsessed, because I'm telling you, I'm definitely obsessed, and I keep checking for an invite, to give away. And then the other thing is signs that you are listening to an experienced Clubhouse user, because there are people who have been doing it for several months. Deb Cole has been doing it. She's got some ninja tricks that I want to replicate. And so you can actually find out who the best moderators are and how to do their tactics. I mean, there are people who move a room, who reset the room so often. Alicia is a paid moderator for some of the large influencers. So she is very good at that. Like, how can you learn? So I'm taking notes of what I'm learning. And then also how to find your voice on Clubhouse in the midst of all the noise, right? I think someone even mentioned they're getting overwhelmed, they're getting lost, they're not really connecting. So how can we help you find the right people and the right conversations? And then how can you feel a sense of belonging? Because for me, I felt like a outcast most of my life. Being an entrepreneurial spirit in a corporate world, that was hard. I had friends at work, don't get me wrong, I get along with everyone, but they didn't understand why I was always doing side businesses. They didn't understand why I just had this mind that I want to make more money, even though I was working corporately or helping other people too, without getting paid. There's all these things of an entrepreneur. No one understands it, right? So this is a way for you to find people who understand you. And then the last thing is how to exercise patience in this non-instant gratification platform, because this is one thing that's very hard when you're on social media. You want to heart, you want to like, you want to comment, you want to connect, and you can't. And the other thing too is if you're not a moderator, you have no control over when you get to speak or when they're going to call on you. So you got to exercise patience. And I think it's a beautiful thing, in fact. And you guys can jump in on that, because I'm learning the patience of just being a fly on the wall. I'm learning the patience of when I raise my hand and I'm waiting for someone to call on me. I'm also learning the patience of that I can't just instantly connect. I have to go out and find other means. And I love that you kind of have to go to these other platforms. They're kind of doing a good job of helping you connect in multiple ways, the best way that you connect with, right? If they had their own thing, it'd be very siloed. Now you get to go to Facebook if that's where you hang out. You get to go to Instagram. I have a bunch of links, so things like that. So anyway, you guys agree, it's definitely patience that you're learning?
Well, Terrell says that she feels the same way as you, Angie, and I hope I'm saying your name right. If not, give me the phonetic pronunciation and I'll get it right the next time, because you're a great contributor. Corporate girl yet had this entrepreneur spirit, had all these side businesses because of it. So I think she relates. You have found a kindred spirit here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Connect with me.
Yeah. And I feel like if Angie, again, this is how you get them as a producer. I feel like Angie and Alicia may be willing to do this again. I know the holidays are coming up, so maybe not next week, but the week after, first week of January. See, look at that. I love you girls.
And the book will be done and the tips will be done and we'll have so much for everybody.
All right. And then if we want to share, again, we'll just go live randomly. And we'll share some more tips as we write the book together. Because I feel like you guys have helped us write the book here. Again, Michael Sanchez, we're going to get you in a chapter for sure. You have a bazillion tips just from your TikTok things that you learned. A lot of those things relate over to Clubhouse. So we're going to get the book together. And yeah, Angie, Alicia, you're saying by January, we're going to have the book done? I love her. This is what
absolutely. Of course.
I love her. She's the one who was like, so when's your next course coming? I'm like, she's like, how about December? What did you make me do a December 8th thing for your group? I was like, sure. So I feel like you're just as bad as a producer as me, then twisting arms and just like, again, you set a date, you tell people and you're like, okay, sure, I'll do it. So I feel like Alicia is our front runner that makes us do things and gives us deadlines. So yeah, we'll have the book together. So that way, again, I'll have all these tips, these little pictures, because as we're describing some of these things, you're like, what does it look like?
Right.
We'll make sure we've got all those type of screenshots in the book, and maybe we'll create a Groove blog and there'll be some articles on that too. But we'll probably put maybe a blog together on the Groove blog, and I'll send it to the team over there. So that way all of you Groovesters will get some information and real practical tips. But yeah, so you'll come back and do this again?
Yeah, of course. And you should put maybe Deb in the magazine. You should put, some Clubhouse tips in the magazine, one of the upcoming issues.
Great idea. Writing that down.
Ooh, I can't wait to get my hands on that magazine.
I know. You want to show us the magazine? Angie's in our number. So Groove, those of you who don't know, we saw some people just popping in from YouTube. So welcome. We are all somehow affiliated with Groove Funnels. Again, like Angie was saying, Angie and Alicia were hosting the Grooveathon. They didn't get paid to host it. They're just Groove Funnels users and affiliate marketers. Alicia won a car for how many people she turned on to Groove Funnels. It is essentially a website building platform, but it is so much more than that. We talked briefly earlier about what Groove is. So we're all part of the Groove family. So we get excited when we do talk about Groove. So if you did hear us talk a little bit about that, we'll do another show and we'll talk specifically all about Groove. Today was about Clubhouse because it's the hottest new app. And right now we're doing a 2-week affiliate promotion where there's, I think, $10,000 in prizes. There's this prize, there's that prize. So we have all of our affiliates from Groove. She number one?
She's number one.
Number one, Angie. Yes. So we have our number one affiliate right here, and she's going on Clubhouse, and she's hosting every day, and she's talking about Groove, but she's talking about other things. So follow her if you are an affiliate marketer and you want to figure out, how do I promote Groove as an affiliate and share it with my people without being too salesy? Angie is the person to model, because like she said, she's not a salesperson. I feel the same way, but it's when you're having these genuine conversations and you're just helping people, the sales take care of themselves, right? So that's what we're trying to help our Groovesters learn, how to join Clubhouse so that you can attract more people that want a funnel builder, that want a blog, that want a membership site, and they want it all for a one lifetime fee, which is going away next year. So that's why there's this impetus to just try to get as many people the opportunity to get the lifetime deal with Groove Funnels. So that's just a little bit of a backstory of some of the transparency between Alicia, Angie, and I. And we've been having this powerhouse conversations on Skype, and we're like, hey, let's share some of our knowledge with our Groove family. And if you're not in our Groove family, well, you got the blessing of the Groovester girls here and just sharing our knowledge. So hopefully you loved the knowledge. If you have additional questions, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'm sure we will be back on this post answering them, but we'll also be in, obviously, the Clubhouse conversion, which literally just started to help people join Clubhouse. Any last?
Deb, I just wanted to say thanks for putting this together. You're always, like, let's do this, let's go. The graphic came together. She just pulled this together for you guys. So Deb, round of applause for Deb and pulling this all together. And I just want to encourage people, as you look at Clubhouse and get on Clubhouse, it's definitely about the value that you give to the community. Step out there, be yourself. The monetization will come. And I've seen so many people just this, past week that have been doing so well at monetizing Clubhouse and, really building a following because of it. So have fun with it and the monetization will come.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, look, round of applause there. Larlin Newman. Yay. Thank you. We appreciate that. Angie, any last words?
Yeah, so
Oh, yes. Yay. I'm glad you got
this is the Groove magazine, the first issue. I am so honored that Groove has welcomed me into their family as their first Groove Funnels ambassador, and it's just so awesome. I can't even tell you what it means to me. And they put me in their first magazine as a cartoon. I'm so excited, and that's coming out in January. And I can't even tell you what this is going to mean for Groove people, because it's not just for Groove people. And that's the beauty of it. It's great for Groove people because you're going to have this sense of, wow, they're going to give you checklists and all these different things. But the other side of it is that they have it chocked full of all the tactics, the butterfly marketing, and how they've, done all this stuff online. And they have a leadership team, a marketing team. They have just brains, right? And so that's what the Groove Funnels magazine is going to be all about. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for making me a part of it. And I'm just trying to make sure that I make you guys proud. And I'm going to continue to evangelize all things Groove Funnels, because I believe in it. And I believe that people who actually understand that there are multiple ways, I'm talking 50 plus ways to make money with Groove Funnels. And I just quickly, if you're thinking 50 ways, that seems crazy. Your own offers, you have affiliate offers, I call them alignment offers. I made that word up, but alignment offers means you're making something to help Groove users. They have an affiliate marketplace. They have a product marketplace. They have so many things underneath all of these different categories. And then there's partnerships. You can partner with people. I've partnered with a few people who are on here. Kathy Walls and I partner on stuff. Twan and I partner on stuff. And we have made some money because we are meeting strategically, right? So there's a lot of different ways to make money with Groove Funnels, and Groove pages and Groove video, and the list goes on and on and on. So I just tell people who have not heard of Groove to get a free account, sign up and get acquainted with it, check it out. And if you want to be a founding member, do it. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. But if you don't, it's okay. All you have to do is get a free account. That's going to be for life, and it's awesome. So anyway, thank you guys for making me a part of your magazine, and I can't wait to see it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love you, Twan, our like ambassador of the G tattoo on his head. Thank you so much, CoachDeb Cole, for putting this awesome training together. I have to admit, I'm clubbed out for the day. Need food, water, and sleep. So do we. Twan. Leanne Reyes. I hope I'm saying your last name well. Correctly as well. Cheers to multiple streams of revenue for 2021. Indeed. People are saying thank you. Nice job. You're all rock star. Chelsea Larson, thank you all for sharing your time and your knowledge. You're welcome. Also, people are asking how they can get the magazine. So I feel like we'll put the magazine as well as the Groove Funnels links in the Clubhouse conversion. So again, Clubhouse conversion is to help you on Clubhouse, but we're all obviously have a bias with the Groove family. So we're going to share those things. And the magazine is coming out as well as a training. And Alicia is pointing to Angie. So Angie, do you want to tell us how we can get Alicia?
Well,
what?
So
You're on mute. You're on mute. There.
I was going to ask Angie to, tell everybody that you'll send them the links and stuff so they can get the magazine.
Yes. So I will send you the links in the next 24 hours in the group. We just want it to be the central place for all things what we're talking about with conversion with Clubhouse, right? So Clubhouse conversions. And for those who want a little more information about Groove, because yes, we love Groove, the group will be more about Clubhouse, but we definitely will share those with you because we want you to also leverage the same stuff that we're leveraging. And we'll have that in there within the next 24 hours, but just get into the group. Clubhouse conversions on Facebook, and that's where we'll be adding stuff. Beware, if you just joined, there's not any graphics, there's not a header, there probably not even a description. We haven't put all that together because we came up with this when people were begging us to, hey, I'm not going to be on. How can I find the replay? Hey, how do I get that book that you're talking about? And so we want a place to put you in. And Clubhouse is free. So it's not like you have to pay to be in this group. You don't have to pay to be on Clubhouse. We just want to help you. We're learning it. Might as well help other people go with us because guess what? We want to have conversations with you in Clubhouse, and I can't wait to get all of you in. It's going to be fun.
Yes,
Yay. We're going to
Yay.
see you in the room. Angie and Alicia, did you have something else before we wrap up?
No, I just said, yay.
Yay. We're all excited about your room as a newbie Clubhouse member, Angie. I'm going to have to make sure I wake up early, make sure I carve out time and join your room because I feel like it's going to be fun and I'm going to then get sucked in and my whole day is going to be Clubhouse. So thanks, Angie. And we're going to end with the beautiful Laura Livingstone. She found us on YouTube talking about Clubhouse. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I stayed up for this. It was like 2:30 a.m. in Amsterdam. And she's still with us. So thank you, Laura. Just what I needed to see today. 3:30 a.m. here in Amsterdam. Looking forward to reading the magazine. Yay! You are exactly what we're talking about with Angie and Alicia, the go-getters, the people that know you're going to make 2021 awesome. You're going to join Clubhouse. You may join the group family. We hope, again, like Angie said, it's free. We'll put links all out for you in Clubhouse Conversion. We're not trying to sell anything, but the opportunities are there and you can get a funnel builder for free. So we'll share those free links in there. We're so thankful for those of you who spent time with us this evening. Well, this evening, I guess here, in the middle of the night for Laura, wherever it is. And it's probably why I love the expression aloha, because it means hello, goodbye, and with love. So aloha to you. Mahalo nui loa. That means thank you very much for joining us. And I feel like I want to get a screenshot of the three of us here with the jazz hands, except I'm going to have one jazz hands while you guys all have 3, 2. Here we go. Ready? Jazz hands, screenshot for social. Bye, everyone. Aloha. Okay, and we're going to end now. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.